Hello and welcome to another Redacted episode. This is episode. Today is Wednesday, February 24th, 2016. I don't know what episode it is. It's like
Saurus
six
can only
or
count
six
up to
or something.
46 is the problem.
Yeah.
That's as high as he's ever got before.
I've never gotten this high before. What happens after this? Do I add like 20 or something? Maybe it changes. Maybe it's a little bit different than normal. I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Nah.
Only not me. Anyways, hope everybody is doing well. Twerk's BoredGamer, how have you guys been?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah,
No.
good mate.
How's everybody doing?
Yeah, I've been good. I've been busy. All kinds of
Same,
some new stuff on my end. But let's start with Twerk. What have you been up to this week?
Obviously, got into the initial PTU test, which is
Right.
it's really fun. Been
When it's
played a little
working.
bit of XCOM. We restarted XCOM, a replay of it because we kind of failed miserably the first time. But I really like that game, and I don't know. Just I talked to the stream a little bit about focusing on my life a little bit more and being a little more taking care of my real life things. So I've been doing a lot of that, and my family's coming. So I think you're going to see my brother on
Dupes.
stream coming on this week.
Has he played much Star Citizen?
He's played a little bit of it. He's got an Omega. So I gifted him an Omega a while back, and he's played a little bit. He's got the idea of it. He wants me to spend some time with him and play with him. So we're going to definitely get a lot of that done here on stream, I would think. And I'm looking forward to my family coming because I only get to see my family twice a year because they live so far away. So it's something I always look forward to.
Oops.
I take my family massively for granted because they're literally so proximate.
Yeah. So like when you're 1,200 miles away from them,
Yeah.
it's exciting when they're coming. So I can't wait.
Cool.
So what's up with you, Bored?
So I was playing the Division beta.
Yeah, I played that too. I played 1 hour of it,
Oh.
but it was cool.
I really loved it. I want a casual game I can play where I control the pace of the PvP and the action. And with Division, you can literally, it feels like you can go from PvE to PvP to really fast-paced, aggressive PvP to being a naughty rogue at your own pace when you want it to happen.
Yeah.
And I really like that. I can go, yeah, for me, it really suits the kind of time frame that I want to play a game for, which is like maybe 10 minutes of hardcore PvP and then an hour of PvE, and it's just a cool game. I really liked it. Reminded me of Gears of War, very nostalgic.
The dark, what's it called? The Dark Zone or the
The Dank Zone, yeah, the Dark
The
Zone.
Dank
Dark Zone? That seemed a little weird and broken to me.
So that was my favourite part of it. to be
Really?
honest.
Okay. Because it
Um,
just seemed weird
Me and three
because,
other people were running around together as a group.
yeah, like you would become rogue. You would go rogue too easily. I didn't realize
so
I went rogue.
you go rogue when you shoot another player.
But they're
more
shooting
than
at you.
once. No, they're shooting at you to try and make you. So there was a little bit of exploitation there. So
Yeah.
they can shoot. You can shoot someone once, and you get a warning. And after a few seconds, that warning goes off. So they're just trying to provoke you to shoot them.
Yeah. So I think there's maybe some balance that needs fixed, but it was really
Yeah.
fun. It was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard it. The beta was very limited.
Oh yeah, but it was
Yeah.
a
Two
the
missions.
beta or beta, whatever. And that was very much a stress test for the servers and solving some of the problems. They don't want to show too much of the game.
Yeah.
I wish they had shown more because I would have liked to have seen proper end game. And
Yeah, I heard there
proper
was like actual
graphic
things
systems
that
and stuff.
you didn't see, like the skills, and I forget who I was watching. I was watching a video on it and on YouTube, and they said that the area was really a lot smaller than they expected. That you were able to play. There was some red barriers or whatever that said this is part of the beta. You
They
can't
should
complete
have
doesn't
just
that
made
make
that a
you
lot
want
clearer.
more? Doesn't
No.
that make you kind of want more?
Because it makes me feel that there might be less than I expect with the full game.
Yeah.
They needed to make
Or
it
them
very
hiding
clear
something.
with,
Okay.
with the beta.
And it's
that they were-
Ubisoft too, right?
gonna do.
Remember that.
Yeah, Uplay. I hate Uplay. I hate
Yeah.
their digital rights management. So yeah, I mean, but it's the only game I've seen recently I've really wanted to play. I can play multiplayer with some of my mates because we find it really hard to play a game together. We used to play Rust and all that sort of stuff together, but we get bored of that very easily. This has got like a controllable level of gameplay, so I'm really enjoying it.
Cool.
I've already purchased a copy. It's one of the few games I've pre-ordered.
I didn't. I was kind of bummed out because I didn't look at how much time, like what time the beta ended. I only looked at the date. So I saw the 22nd and I was like, yes. But it went offline at 7 a.m. Eastern, and I go online 6 a.m. Eastern, and I was like, shit, I need to get in and play this.
The last 15 minutes I was on just before the servers came down.
Me too,
A lot of people went rogue at the very end.
Yes,
Just,
everybody did. We all went nuts.
everything.
Yeah, it was fun though.
It was a breakdown of society. I really liked that.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is about Star Citizen.
Yeah.
And so I'm actually involved with planning a big fan meetup in Manchester.
Nice.
Or probably around don't hold me to any of this, probably around the 23rd of July. That's what we're looking for at the moment.
He's a Star Citizen content creator. You can't hold us to dates because it's Star Citizen.
But I can hold you to location. It's going to be up in Manchester in the UK. Hopefully we're going to try and get some of the devs and people involved. Is the idea.
Are you going to go do a tour?
I will probably do a tour while I'm there, yeah.
Yeah. No, it was cool. Speaking from our experience, when we got to tour the Austin studios, it was pretty cool. I like to see people face to face.
And that's the smallest studio.
I would want to go there with some of my friends because there's an issue that I have with the tour. And it's I obviously want to see the stuff.
But you want to be able to talk to people about it.
I need to be able to talk to people about it.
Yeah.
And if it was just
you
me
can't
going,
talk to us.
I'd get really depressed about it. Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't be able to talk to you about it.
Yeah.
And that would annoy me more. I like sharing that kind of experience. So I'd probably prefer not to go unless there was a reason for me to go. Because learning stuff that I'm not allowed to talk about when I report on news and use the information that I'm given at any time to make my decisions and talk freely, I'd not be able to talk freely anymore, which I hate.
Like which is kind of nice now because I think almost everything that we saw is kind of out at this point. So it's nice that like I don't have to hide anything anymore. But there's times where people would ask questions and I'd be like, ugh, like yeah, I know, but
did they not give you a length of time that you had to wait until you could tell people?
Maybe I didn't read it. I just signed the thing and said I'm not going to talk about it.
Maybe. Yeah, they gave us a length of time to read it, but it's your basic. You know, you're not going to share this.
I would like to talk to you and Saurus about exactly what you saw there, like in detail, but obviously
it's all out. I mean, you see it now.
Yeah, there's
literally 90% of the stuff we saw was on ATV the day after.
Yeah,
it's that 10% that I'm interested in.
Yeah. Can't have it. Can't have it, buddy. Sorry.
Other than that, I want to thank actually a gentleman called Klaus who watches my videos, who lent me his Jean Scout for a video. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Nice.
He said he didn't want to shout out, but he's getting one anyway.
Dude,
he's getting one anyway. And generally, I've been playing quite a bit of Star Citizen 2.2. It's quite crashy, but that's what the PTU's there for.
Well, we did all get into the PTU, so that's nice.
Yes.
Well, we've been playing those of the PTU builds, and that's one of the waves. We'll talk about the waves a bit later.
Yeah, in a few minutes.
But I noticed when I was watching Twerk stream, it was that, and it's true, you can see the people that are really enthusiastic about Star Citizen, and if you do Star Citizen semi-professionally, whatever, because you get really excited when you discover a new bug. And I was watching Twerk on his stream, and it was crashing, and he was like, "That's a new one," and he was really happy about it. It just crashed.
Yeah, that's something I noticed as well. Those pop-ups are Error 7. I haven't seen that one in forever. Error 8. Error. Oh, look at this one. When you get killed at 5 stars, it's Error 32.
And so I haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah. Early PTU tests, I just want to say this to everyone, so they're just aware of that, are a chore.
Yeah.
Rather than a privilege.
Yeah.
Just so people are aware of that.
It's like smashing your face into a brick wall over and over again with a smile on your face, being like, "Oh, I know what's happening. Smash! I know what's happening. Smash."
It's nice. It's nice to get in, but it is effort. Anyway, Saurus, what have you been up to?
For me, this last week has been pretty crazy for me for a lot of things. I'll start with Thursday. Okay, so Thursday, you know, content has been kind of whatever, and I've been sort of struggling to find things to do before the patch came out, knowing that the patch is coming out and there's only so much gameplay that I can do, especially when a lot of people aren't really playing. Thursday night, I get a Twitch message and or a Twitter message saying from Xylo saying he's on Periscope, and so I pulled them up on stream, and they periscoped with me for about, I think I have an hour of them, and we went to, and the thing is, it was Captain Xylo, Sophie Girl, and Stoutman PR, and they'd gone out for dinner, and then they're like, we're going to the pier. Let's go do the pier. We'll do a tour of the Santa Monica Pier for you guys. So we went and Yeah, we did this tour of the pier, and there were people out there. There was this guy was named Captain. He was fishing for sharks with live mackerel. But what also is cool is they ran into security, this security bro, and his name was Willard. And
He looks like a captain.
I'm trying to see if I can. Okay, so here's
Oh,
Willard.
that means.
Now Willard
Sure
has
that
an
means.
epic mustache and looks like the Ahi guy. Okay.
Does he really?
Oh yeah. So you'll see it on stream here.
Oh, get your gray heads ready.
Yeah,
So
all his own-
Willard.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So Willard is super awesome. Anyways, so Sophie Girl is like, yeah, here's you have 100 people watching you on Twitch right now and all this other stuff. And so we're like, oh, he's like, oh, is it YouTube? And we're like, no, it's Twitch. So he makes a Twitch account, and he made a Twitter account, and he's been in our channels like every day since then, and he's been hanging out. And like, there's a group of us on Twitter, and he just like fills us in on what he's doing every day, and showing us pictures of the pier and stuff. He's gonna go to CitizenCon, like it's super so like random and crazy, doing high fives and. He was observing and reporting because he was security.
That's so cool.
So yeah, that was really cool.
Wow.
So we did that with Willard has been there. Obviously, we've been playing a lot of 2.2. I also got my cameras and my monitors in. So I now have the second station and a full green screen studio that I have all set up. I've mentioned this on my stream. I am gonna be changing my broadcast software because I have a new secret sponsor that I'll be announcing later this week,
secret
probably
sponsor.
later this week or next week. So that was really cool, and obviously, of course. I still have the Salty Noodle shirt up, and that's been doing amazing.
That's like
I think
the best
we've
Star Citizen shirt ever.
we've sold 50 of them. I also I'm gonna make a couple other Salty Noodle things for people to either print off at home or whatever. One of them is gonna be a takeaway box. So you know those?
Oh, I want a salty noodle
Yeah, so
takeaway
I'm
box.
gonna get the template for it. I'm gonna find somewhere that prints them out and like gives you like the metal thing and whatever. And I'm gonna make a template so they can print those off. But I'll also make it a template available so people can just print it off at home or whatever and make their own. I might do a stream dedicated to that soon. But the Salty Noodle shirt right now, we have 6 days left, so almost a week. It's available until Tuesday. It comes in the 5 colors in both men's and women's. So I never show the women's tee, so let's show the women's here. In the beige, I know this was Doc Pacey's favorite. The blue is my favorite here, so this is what the women's shirt looks
The
like.
blue is the one that I'm gonna get.
And I'll actually post the link in chat for those people who. And that's also going to play music for one reason or another, and that got really loud in my ear.
We could get Twerk to model the women's t-shirts.
We could
No.
get
So,
Twerk.
I mean,
You're
Twix,
gonna have to
I mean,
ask Trixie.
I mean, Trixie.
Yeah.
I mean, Trixie. Obviously.
Yeah.
I'll get in contact with Trixie and let you
Yeah.
guys know.
Yeah.
Well, I heard Trixie is actually going to make it back and for
of
a
these
little
days.
sexual visit if you get to 250 subs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, that's less than 100 subs away, right?
Yeah,
And-
it's
and with-
let me look right now. 89.
89 subs away. So if we can get Twerk back up to 250 subs, Trixie is gonna make a comeback, and maybe she'll be in some sort of other sexy lingerie instead
Well, she'll
of,
probably be a permanent emote then as well.
oh
Yeah, sub emote.
well.
so
that
she
would
can
be-
never go away then. If
She
we
can
hit
never go
250.
away then.
Yeah.
But maybe she'll do some sort of little happy birthday, Mr. Roberts dance.
Oh my god.
That would be amazing. And
That
you know
would
that you have
not
to do
be.
that now, and then you can send that to him on Twitter.
I'm letting
And
you know now, like
when his
this got
birthday
to my
is.
boss and he asked me like questions about makeup when I see him, and yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
In a good way, bad. But it's yeah, it's rough. Rough
And
life I live.
last but not least, this isn't really from my end. This is from all of us. Is the website stuff. So the website is
Yes.
we hit the last couple things to go over to transfer everything over soon. I also want to say a huge thank you to all of our patrons, for specifically the Redacted Patreon. Oh shit, I just went to the wrong scene. I went to my scene instead. Lol. A huge thank you to all the patrons, because you guys are the ones that are making us able to do this. And I just want to show you guys what we have. I know it's been a little while since I've shown the actual front end of the website. Everybody knows what the forums look like, but this is the front end of the website, and it has things like, it's still been collecting all the news posts and everything like that. So all of the stuff that Star Citizen puts out, you can see here. It looks very beautiful still, and you can. It's got our Twitter feed, which has been going. I have some placeholders here showing all of our YouTubers and streamers. This obviously needs to be cleaned up and fixed a little bit, because our host is a little wonky at the moment. We're gonna have I'm really excited for this events page, because we have more than the podcast now. We have our Fireball Fridays with Doc Pasty. We have latency issues going to be coming up soon. We have Gray-Headed Gamers, Not So Sober Saturdays.
If there's any scheduled giveaways, like, you never have to ask. You just go to the events and you'll know when it is.
You can see them. Torque, you're going to have something.
Let's face it, that's what we're here for.
That you guys are going to be working on.
Yeah,
I don't know if you want to
maybe
announce that, or...
Yeah, I don't think it's something that we don't know when it's going to happen, but we know that it's an idea that we really want to have. Actually, I don't really want to announce it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really want to announce it. You guys will like it though.
But it'll be cool.
We'll wait until it's slightly more developed, if you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Confirmed.
You guys will like it though. It's
we're
cool.
gonna have a resources page. So BoredGamer does a lot of videos on. Obviously, there's nothing here, so it looks a little weird. But BoredGamer does a lot of videos on different mods and things like that,
and
things
articles.
like sweet effects.
I wrote all those articles.
Yeah.
All those articles. Well, those articles will go on the news, but the articles like the user config folders and things
Mods.
like any XMLs that show all the weapon stats or ship stats and stuff like that.
All those resources.
Yeah, all of that stuff will go into this resources thing, so you'll see that. You'll have a way to contact us directly, and it'll also link to our Patreon, our YouTube, our Twitch team, our Twitter. You'll be able to get our RSS feeds for the podcasts on here, from iTunes, from SoundCloud, from YouTube, all of our questions on there as well. So there's going to be a lot of really cool stuff on here. And then on top of that, we still have the forums and everything else like that. So, yeah, if you are considering supporting us, Redacted specifically, and you really like to see this blossom and do that, that does help us out a huge amount, and it is greatly appreciated.
Like we have a lot of really good ideas for content that we want to put up there, and we're really excited about it. And it pretty much needs the website in order to.
I'm going to correct you on that. We certainly have a lot of ideas.
Not all of them were good. No, that's for sure. We've been talking a lot about things to put there, but you're definitely going to see like things like, you know, probably a lot of the stuff that you kind of see on the podcast that we've been doing, like things with weapons and shields and components. I think we're going to do a lot of deep dives in written format too as well on the website probably. So that's all probably, we don't know.
Star Citizen. Anything we can think of, we'll have in there somehow. We'll get all that content. All the content!
And the one thing that I can tell you about the thing that I don't want to say just yet is that it's hopefully going to be something with myself,
I was going to say, can you say who it involves?
And Gray-Headed Gamer, who is the newest member of Redacted and just joined, 2 days ago?
2 days ago. Yeah.
I'll have to be up at 4 a.m. in the morning for it.
Maybe. Probably not, though. So I got an idea.
I love you, Twerk.
Yeah.
The best.
Yeah, so the other thing I want to bring up, you like the placeholders. Everybody likes the placeholders. Maybe we'll just, you were all worried, like, are we going to have content for those placeholders? So we're just going to leave them as placeholders. Obviously, you guys love that, so we're just going to leave it like that, and then that'll be our thing. So I want to remind everybody that we do take questions at the end of the podcast. We cut those up and we throw them on YouTube. I don't really have an excuse. I dropped the ball this week and I didn't get any of those videos up. I'm going to be doing both last week's and this week's, so I'm going to work doubly hard later today to get those videos out and up for you guys. So you're going to see a huge influx of new videos, I think, coming over this next week. But if you have any questions, exclamation point question in chat, put them in there. We'll answer them. They can be about our channels. They can be about Star Citizen. We'll answer them to the best of our ability. Remember that we don't work for CIG, so anything we say is pure speculation, unless we say, we know for sure. So that is happening. And then there was something else, but I totally forget what I was going to say. We have interviews today.
Yes.
That's really big. So we have 3 interviews. We're going to be showing one before the questions. We're going to do the questions, and we're going to say, because I know BoredGamer has to be somewhere later. So we're going to do one, and that's going to be John Erskine, correct? And then we are going to have the question section. We're going to say our goodbyes, but stick around because we're going to have 2 more interviews after that. One with David Peng, and one with Jared Huckabee, a.k.a. DL. The DL.
The DL, bro.
The disco.
You can only call him that because you went on the Austin tour.
Yeah.
That's his special name for his special friends.
Yeah. The Dizzle Lizzle. Anyways, so I guess let's just jump into the news. Obviously, we had the PTU. So I'm going to explain the PTU waves because a lot of people were saying, "Oh, I didn't get in. Oh, I've spent this much money. Why aren't I in?" Or vice versa or whatever. So there is a website. I don't know, Twerk, if you want to pop that website in chat here for me. The PTU invites from now on. This is how they're going to work from now on. Every PTU
unless they change their mind.
moving forward, unless they change their mind again.
Well, specifically, this is how it's working for this
one.
PTU.
For this PTU. But they did make a whole, a big stink and multiple pages. So they posted it here, but they also posted it on the forums and stuff like that. How they're going to be doing invites moving forward. Okay, so they're going to come out in 5 waves. Wave 1 is 6,000 invites. Okay, so it's approximately 1,000 accounts from participating on the issue council with 1 new report and 1 contribution. So that's your fast track. If you're not on the PTU now and you would like to be part of that, that's your fast track to get on there. As soon as you get in the PTU, make sure that you make 1 new report and 1 new contribution, because that's going to at least 1. The more the better, obviously.
Plus, I think that these figures in the future are going to be upped.
Yeah,
they're going to have to.
Yeah, they're going to have to.
People are going to start spamming.
Yeah.
This stuff
so,
too.
And as the servers become more stable, they'll be able to do that.
So Saurus says that's a fast track there. Make sure they are concise and accurate reports.
Yes.
Spamming are just going to get you removed from the PTU. They will discover that.
Yeah.
So make sure they're proper.
Don't annoy them and waste their time.
Double check and make sure there's not copies of what you're posting, all that stuff.
But
there's
if you
definitely
are
rules
coming
on how to
across,
post on the issue council, and follow those rules, please.
If you are coming across those issues, make sure that you are participating in the issue council if this is something you want to be a part of. Plus 5,000 accounts who have played more than 5 P2 builds in the last 3 months. Now, the reason that a lot of content creators are in this right now is because we've consistently been in every PTU. Right? We play every PTU that comes out. So whether we do reports or not, we're automatically in. And that has the most amount of allotments. So the best thing that you can be doing is getting into PTUs when they're available, if you have that ability. Wave 2 is going to have 12,000 additional invites for a total of 18,000. So 12,000 accounts who have played 3 to 5 builds in the last 3 months. And Wave 3 is going to be 16,000 for a total of 34,000, and there'll be 2 PTU builds. And then Wave 4 will be another 80,000, so to 114,000, and that's if they've played at least 1 PTU build in the last months. And then Wave 5 is when they sort of open the floodgates to everybody, and everybody can jump in. So if you're not able to...
You say floodgates. At Wave 4, that's most of the active community.
Yeah.
Most of the active flying community.
Right. Well, Wave 5 is anybody, maybe they're brand new to Star Citizen and they want to check out the PTU and all of that other stuff. So this is the way for them to be able to get in there. We actually have a PTU stress test today. We got a request for our PTU 2.2A testers today. They're looking for specific arena commander crashes to fix, and we'd like everyone to jump everyone on. So that's going to be at 8 p.m. GMT, or 6 p.m. So 8 p.m. GMT, that's 9 p.m. Central, and 6 p.m. PST.
9 p.m. Eastern.
And
They're
that's
all over the place.
9 p.m. Eastern,
With the
8 p.m. Central.
things they
They're
put
all
there.
over. But yeah, there's gonna be 2 sessions today. So 8 p.m.
So the second
GMT,
session
which
is after
already
us.
happened. That was at 1 o'clock. That's already now.
I killed Will Leverett. Well, maybe. I think the server crashed as.
We almost
Yeah.
killed Will Everett too in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
You guys don't know about that, but we almost killed Will.
Yeah.
Oh, this NDA, bro. NDA.
Yeah.
NDA. And then the second one is at 6 p.m. So I'm probably going to stay on a little bit later just to participate in that.
Yeah, I'm going to try and join in on that one later if I can.
Yeah, so we also got 2 new ships in the hangar.
Mm-hmm.
And
Whoa, not in the hangar. One in the hangar, Saurus.
Well, they're
One in the
they're-
field.
Technically, they're both in the hangar.
You are correct.
And we got one of those ships flyable.
Yeah.
So thank you for letting me finish, BoredGamer. Jesus. So I have. I'll be nice and I'll use your video here. This is the Xi'an Scout, or the Cartual, made by Apoa.
Ayapoa.
Ayapoa.
I thought it was
Ayapoa.
Apoa. I
thought it was
thought it was
Apoa
the
too.
pronunciation.
It might be. People were
I
saying
think-
that I got the pronunciation wrong.
I think
Yeah,
it's
they
called the
showed the-
Xi'an Scout. I don't know what you guys are talking
my
about.
God.
You guys don't know what you're
The Xi'an.
Chris pronounced it John Scout. So
Yeah, but-
I'm pronouncing it John as well because
Yeah, I
he's
pronounce it
genius.
So yeah, I thought it was really cool. The only thing there's something that bothers me about it. I got you know what? It's something, and I don't think it belongs. Is those human ass weapons? Not only are they the wrong color, right? But they just look so bolted on. And I wish they would have. I wish they would have made the first alien style weapons for the Xi'an Scout to go with one of their main, because obviously they have their own weapons, and I would have liked to see those being attached.
Yeah, I think they. We're not going to talk about it much today because there is a lot to talk about. But they did kind of address that on the 10 for the designers, right? I don't remember what they said exactly, but that was definitely a question that was asked.
Well,
Like,
I think that because this is the human version of this ship, right?
Yeah.
It's not the alien version. So this is the first ship that they're able to sell to humans. That it may have required a human weapon. Like we know that Vanduul weapons can't swap over to human things and vice versa. So I think that maybe they made this is a stretch, but it could be that because this is made for humans, it's made for human components. But that doesn't make sense because the engines and thrusters and all that other stuff will be all Xi'an. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I think the thing that people are more upset about was that it originally. I don't remember what the original Scout was sold as. Number one, originally sold with 2 seats. This one has 1.
Yeah. So that was another thing that sort of surprised me as well.
And then the weapons too. There's supposed to be more weapons, but we definitely heard on a 10 for the designers. It is going to have 2,
Possibly 4.
with the possibility of 4. They're not sure yet. And given that it only has 2 weapons, and we'll talk about the Cedar later in just a second, because I don't know. When I have a thought, I have to finish it or I forget.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. See what I mean? No, but the thing is that with the 2 weapons is that you can kind of think of where they are going with the design of how the ship is going to play, and one of the only other ships that has 2 weapons that's still somewhat effective is a ship like the M50, fast,
Right.
maneuverable, right? So they were kind of like, well, if we put 4 weapons on this thing, it probably will be really overpowered. So 2 weapons it is. You know?
But the role of it is not to be a dogfighter, really.
No.
It's a scout. It's a
to
harasser.
get in and then get out.
Yeah.
To check things out.
You could use them in a fleet, in a dogfight, if you were trying to absorb multiple ships' fire by avoiding them, or the rest of your team go on their tails and stuff, maybe. But you don't want to make it too powerful, as you said. You don't want 4 weapons. Probably would make it too effective.
I mean, it's like putting 4 weapons on an M50. What'll happen?
I also want to
Everyone will
point
use
some design things out. Number 1, the stairs and the sound. Well, okay,
Oh
the
my
sounds
God.
the sounds are pretty cool. It's very
Yeah.
insect-like.
Which is like exactly in the jump point where Chris was like, I don't want it to be an insect.
like an insect or
It's-
whatever.
It's an insect transformer. It's like Bumblebee, but more insect.
Yeah,
It's almost like Chris-
It's pretty cool.
Chris
it's
was
like
like-
a transformer. Yeah.
you know what? Damn it, I give up.
Yeah.
Like,
And
make
then
it like
the stairs
an
that sort of
inside.
float out are cool. It would be cool if they sort of depressed a little when you stepped on them. You know, like if that was just part of the animation.
come in.
They
That
could
could
bring
come
that in. The other thing that really surprised me, outside of the two-seater going to a single-seater, and I know that might bother a lot of people, is the fact that I thought it was going to be opaque. And this is how it was described in the jump point and the design doc, where it was going to be solid material, and that you actually were going to see a screen. So you'd be able to see outside from the inside, but you wouldn't be able to see in. And I'm a little disappointed that they didn't go with that and they went with a traditional polycarbonate or glass or whatever this is, like see-through titanium or whatever it is in the universe that they use for this super strong glass. But I would have liked to have seen the opaque outside. I think it's still cool, and I think I know why they went with the see-through is because it does rotate, right? Like this is anybody who's a fan of Boba Fett's Slave One. This ship is a perfect analogy to that because it lands horizontal, but then when it goes up, it'll go vertical and fly vertical. And I think they may have pulled some ideas from that, and it is really cool. And so if you have that glass, what it's going to show the pilot rotating in that cockpit and stuff like that. And I think that's going to be kind of cool to see from the outside.
So yeah, from the concept art, we saw that it flies with the what I refer to as the nose in my video, like an idiot, pointing downwards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw it here, I was like, well, maybe that's going to fly forward like that. But obviously,
No.
what if you can fly it in multiple orientations?
Well, we might be able to. It depends.
That's what I'm
It really
thinking,
depends on how those thrusters move out. Right? If the thrusters only go from the static position like they are now to fold it out forward, then that's how it
well,
flies.
it looks like if you look at the way they're attached,
Yeah.
that looks quite a possibility that they can.
It looks
move
like they can
very-
fold flat and you can
Yeah.
fly like an arrow, which would be a lot better for racing.
What about
Well,
the
it
little
almost
T-Rex
will have to
arms?
be, right? That's like a whole nother thing. Is that thing is pretty damn long with that nose? Is it going to fit through the tunnel in the racing section? It might not.
Yeah,
No,
oh,
it
yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
be able to like that, would it?
And in the lore, it's like it has won. It's
I think
won.
I think
a
you're
race. It's won.
I think you guys are misjudging how big those rings
we-
actually are.
Yeah.
Not the rings,
might be.
the tunnel.
It was
Oh,
the
the
starting
tu-
tunnel.
Yeah, even
I mean,
the
it
tunnel's
would be a
pretty
hard
big.
fit.
You
Okay,
could
okay.
fit you could fit all
It's 2
retaliators.
ships wide, right?
Yeah, and you can fit retaliators in every single one of those spots because we've done it.
But that's wider, not up and down.
We'll have to see, won't we?
Yeah, but
We'll have
they're-
to
Yeah.
see.
they're still tall ships. But yeah, like that's the other thing too is the scope is a little bit smaller than I expected it to be.
It was bigger than I expected.
Yeah,
it
it's
felt
bigger than I expected
it felt
as well.
smaller, but was overall a really cool ship. And then obviously the other ship that we got, which we've seen before in the hangar, was the Saber. And now the Saber is exactly what I expected it to be. I think for a lot of people, and we have a video from STL Youngblood for this one, another Redacted member. So a lot of people are really excited about it or really disappointed by it. For me, it's exactly what I expected. It's a ship with 2 fixed weapons, 2 gimbaled weapons, and it sort of fits in between the Gladius and the Super Hornet. I still prefer Super Hornet for doing damage and for doing those short-range combat. I think that once we get the stealth mechanics in and things like that, that we'll see more use for the Saber, but right now it doesn't. I don't feel it really has a place. It's not space superiority. The stealth mechanics aren't there. The
That's
the
what it is.
maneuvering isn't really there yet.
It's not just that. It's the maneuvering's not there. It works really great horizontally.
Yeah.
The Saber, and it has moments of genius where it feels really agile and really fast. But if you want to go up and down, it's hell. And
It is.
suddenly your thrusters will just go, nope, I'm not working for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Why am I
Well,
not
that's all
working?
the ships,
Well,
I think.
Well, it feels more in the. I don't know.
It
might be
feels
exciting.
really bad in the Saber.
Yeah, I mean, it's like for 30 whole seconds, it will be. I'm not sure if they overheated, if they're out of power, if I've got too much power draw on my system. I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure we'll discuss that in a little bit, but they're definitely just put in the component system, and there's obviously going to be the occasional issue with stuff like that, and I think that's
It's
probably
first
what's
wave
going
PTU.
on.
Yeah, first wave PTU. So
Yeah.
this, as soon as this gets a bit more balanced, where it's agile, and because you can put 4 size 3 weapons on it, fixed size 3 weapons on it. Because I fly with 4 Panthers in the PTU test.
Yeah.
I will have a good loadout when it goes on to live. But
Well, I think it will. This is the thing for me is I
Some
think that
issues with
the ship doesn't make sense with 2 gimbaled and 2 fixed. I think it makes a lot more sense with 4 fixed, and I think it should have just been released with 4 fixed weapons in the first place. Because the whole thing for me, and this is something I've sort of noticed, is the more redundancy for a ship and its systems, the better it's gonna be in general, right? So if you think more shields, gonna be better. So if one gets knocked out, you have other shields. More power plants, better. More weapons. Okay, so this is something that I sort of was testing over the last couple days that I've been playing the PTU. Is everybody wants to see the saber and they want to see it in flight, and to me, it's nothing special. Right, so it's like, okay,
Now it's just a ship. Yeah,
I'll
it's just
fly
another
it again for you guys because everybody wants to see it. And something that I've noticed is if my weapons get knocked out, it's a quarter of my weapons, and each one of those weapons is fairly big, so that's a substantial amount of damage. And if I'm with the Super Hornet, what usually happens is I lose one of the weapons on one of my turrets, or I lose a wing, but I still have 5 weapons that are still doing damage on a Hornet, which is I don't get a huge chunk missing. Even if I miss my whole bottom turret, I'm never upset because it's like, it's there to put out power,
And they're just size
put
ones.
pressure. They're only they're only size 1s. Even though they're doing damage, it doesn't take away from the effectiveness of the ship. When you start losing one weapon, if you lose a wing on this, you're losing 2 weapons, right?
Well, on the same, no,
on one
I
side.
disagree. I disagree with that because it's quite hard to lose that part of the weapon. They
Right.
are quite close to the front.
Right, I agree with that. But the thing is if you do overheat them, or if you do whatever, that you are sort of limiting yourself, and you don't have that redundancy to fall back on. Number 1. Number 2 is now you have 2 pips that are never going to line up unless you're exactly pinpointed on them, and that is happening extremely rare, as opposed to with gimbals you can be pointed at them, or if you're on fixed weapons. Like, you might as well just lock the gimbals, is what I'm saying. There's no
I
real
always use
point.
fixed weapons, so it's hard.
No point
Yeah.
to have them gimbaled on there.
I'm a mouse and keyboard user, so I always use relative mode. But I always use relative mode, so I like fixed weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I fly a bit differently to most people. Look at that sodding glare. That bullshit glare.
I like it.
Oh.
I like it.
What?
I'm blind. I'm literally blind sometimes.
it. I like it.
I'm so
I
confused.
know I'm the minority, but it just it looks.
Definitely
It,
the minority.
the
That
thing
is
is,
weird.
it
It's not the
looks.
minority. There's just one of you.
It just
you.
It just
It's
looks
only
good.
you.
I like seeing the reflections of the planet and stuff, and
I guess it
just
just gives
looks
some
good.
immersion. Yeah.
No, it doesn't, because I'd hope that by this time in human
they'd have.
civilization,
Well,
and
we already
technology-
have anti-reflective glass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
some form
my
of
glasses
anti-glare.
have anti-reflective glare on them.
someone has performed a practical joke on you and put just magnifying glass in there.
Yeah.
So if you went to, like, if the sun was you were looking at the sun, you would literally fry like an ant under a magnifying glass. I mean, it's insane the amount of reflection or glare, whatever
Yeah.
you're getting. It's angered me that you think that's good. Really,
He's angry. I've never seen BoredGamer angry.
Oh man, I hate you.
But yeah, no. I don't know. I think it's a cool show of tech. Is live. I remember not so long
yeah, it's
ago
great.
when shadows and reflections and stuff were baked into the game, and they weren't dynamic like this. And so,
Yeah.
for me, it's pretty cool.
Fair enough.
But
But get them out.
yeah, let's
Please.
move on
Put 'em
from
on Windows.
the 2 ships. We also got there's 2 things in here that I want to talk about. One isn't in the notes. Is the bounty system. I think that's big enough that we should really talk about that. Having
Not in the notes.
I don't know. But the bounty system being in there, I've been to level 5. Have either of you guys been to level 5 yet?
I got to level 4 in Game Crash.
Okay, I got to level 5 and Kazu shot me in
Slash
the back
stuck
of the head
inside
while I
the
was.
hangar.
Trying to
Game
do
Crash, but
some
Twerk's
things.
given me a quick way of doing it by attacking guards.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'm a little-
NPCs.
the way we did it was because ICC Probe 849, which is where you go and get the missions, can't be shut down, and you can shoot people there. you just send people.
There, it's in the dock now.
Okay, you can just keep sending people there, right? And so I had just had people showing up and letting me kill them over and over, turn off our shields, kill them really quickly. And then what was really cool is once you're level 5, there's actually a bug with this as well. So once you're level 5, it'll show up on everybody's Moby Glass, hey, there's a new fugitive. I forget exactly what the terms are, but there's
I've never seen it yet.
Level 5,
either.
it's because it's super rare. Not very many people get to level 5.
Yeah.
So there's this thing, and it marks you. It doesn't matter if you're in, and this kind of bothers me.
Globally marks.
Does it mark you like when you go in a ship? Is that the mark?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter if you're in a ship or not. You have
No, but like, is that the mark that you see? Like,
no, it's
you know
a
where it says
triangle.
distress beacon?
Yeah,
you know where it
those
says, like, the
triangles?
little-
oh, the little triangle.
Yeah, it gives you one of
Okay.
those. And the thing is what bothers me a little bit, even in non-monitored space, you have that
Yeah.
triangle. And
So-
even
so-
when you're not in a ship, you have that triangle.
Yeah, it just follows you
So
forever.
you have,
Like-
and not only that, is people can warp to that point. So they can press B and warp to you. Yeah, dude. It's so
crazy.
It's like all of a sudden.
That brings up a point though that's the first point that I put in the doc, and this was a discussion that me and Board were having with Proxys earlier. Was the system is cool, but they're kind of, the implementation of it is kind of weird, and the reason that I think it's weird and it's because it's a system for criminals, but it's also a system to stop griefing in the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's a little weird because they want you to stop griefers, so they want you to be able to say,
Yeah, which is
hey, look at that griefer over there, go kill him.
Because
and they're assuming that those things are the same thing, and
Yeah.
they're not.
It's,
No. I
they're not.
disagree slightly.
Well, yeah, like not,
But
that's not the same thing.
they are treating them the same. So they are treating
Yeah.
whether you ram into ships on Port Olisar, that gives you wanted levels. If you kill somebody, that gives you wanted levels. If you turn off comrades, that gives you wanted levels. Now, I think in all honesty, they should be almost split into two separate things. I agree with you on that.
Yes.
But for right now, this is what they're giving us, right? So maybe in the final game, this is what's going to happen. I don't think it's going to kick you off the server later on, right? If you're playing as a pirate, because nobody's going to want to play as a pirate then, right? Nobody's going to want to be like, okay, now I have to, every time I die, even if it's on my own, right? Like I committed suicide and I still had to wait 5 minutes to get in. Now there were a couple things as well. So at level 5, if you die at level 5, it kicks you off, it crashes the game. And it comes up with error 32 saying you were killed at level 5, criminal wanted level, and booted and kicked from the server. Which I thought that was kind of, I thought it was kind of cool. But
It's cool, but
no, I'm going to tell you what bothers me about it. Okay, so as soon as you hit level 5 and you die, it locks your door permanently. So even if you can get back into the server, I think that's dumb. I think you should still have.
That's not just happening to level 5.
No,
that happens.
no.
To everybody.
Let me finish. Because what happens is other people can also spawn into that room, and that means that now CIG is griefing everybody because if you spawn in that room, you can't leave. You're stuck in that room. And you will continue to spawn in that room. So if you're joining with other friends, and that person just got kicked off and opened up a slot for you, and you joined in, you can't actually play on that server. It's just trolling you.
I didn't realize that.
That bug's fixed in their build now.
Okay, so that was a bug that was in there. And number 2, I think that kicking you off, because this is what it does, is for every criminal, and I only had this happen once where it actually showed a timer. And that's when I suicided. I suicided at level 1, I think, and I had to wait 30 seconds or 45 seconds or something like that. And it showed, you're being held for 45 seconds for being criminal level 1, whatever. And the door wouldn't open until then. You can do whatever you want else in there, but you had to wait. And I would rather see a stretch on that than kicking people off the server, because that stops people from wanting to pursue that gameplay that they want to do, right? And but the thing is not only does that, you could say, okay, well, maybe they shouldn't, they're killing people or whatever. But if, for example, for me, I'm being a pirate and it kicks me off the server, but all my friends are on that server, right? That means that all my friends now have to come off and then go. It just doesn't really make sense. I get the idea for the griefing stuff, but for to punish players for using the mechanics that you're giving us, like turning off comm arrays, for killing people in PvP areas where we should be allowed to kill them, for killing security bros, you know, like I don't really agree for kicking a level 5 criminal off of a server permanently.
It's obviously the early iteration of this whole
most definitely,
It's going to get changed.
This is going to get reworked and worked so many times
what we
like
need,
putty, but
we need a split, okay? So a split being we need griefing, so ramming into ships at Port Olisar.
Which they can clearly track because they're tracking them and giving you wanted levels with it, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So I think they're able to track that as well. We were talking about this before.
Yeah.
So yes. So I think griefing, so specifically certain actions like ramming into ships in Port Olisar specifically, should be treated as griefing and should kick you off the server on the second time that you do it. First time, it could just be an accident. If you do it again within 10 minutes, you're a griefer, kick them off the server.
Also want to say, I've gotten wanton levels for people ramming me.
Yeah, I mean,
Of course,
again,
'cause
there we go.
Sometimes it's not going to be able to work it out, is it?
Right.
You're going to collide, and it's going to be like you hit him.
Right. So yeah,
but
at 2 or
I would
3,
also prefer,
I think so.
I prefer at level 5 when you get, because I like the fact that something happens when you get killed at level 5. That's cool.
Well, the thing is the person who kills you gets that gun in their for as long as they're alive on that server. It's not persistent.
So there's
they
a
get
reward
that
for it
new.
as well.
They get that reward in there.
That's
I
awesome.
would prefer to have that level 5 person that's just been killed, that nasty man, to be put in a security cell that everyone can see.
Yeah,
Or to
I wish
something
there were
happen
jail
to him on the
cells.
server.
Obviously, those aren't in there,
Put them in Brea.
and those will be
Put them in
there.
Whistler.
Those will be there at some point, but it would be cool to see them, and you could go there and maybe kill them again while they're sitting in jail or something.
I want pirates to attack me and fight me in the PU because it gives me gameplay, it gives me flavour. There's not that much to do. So people doing emergent gameplay and trying to make the best of what we've got in this beautiful game, that sort of stuff I really want. But if they're going to literally go, oh no, you're off the server now.
Yeah,
that's really annoying.
Now,
it's just like
for me, when you get to level 5, there's another thing that bothers me. Obviously, people being able to track you everywhere, even in non-monitored systems, is a no-no. I think they should only be able to track you in monitored systems. Number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2, I feel that if they're going to do something where they globally broadcast this out to you, that there should be also some sort of benefit on the pirate side of things, where you, like, obviously you're gonna have like 30 people coming after you, or however many people coming after you right away, especially if they can warp to you, because the second you get that level 5, the only way you can get that, I'm gonna tell you why, because the second you can get that level 5, you are in an area where everybody, whether they have it on a monitored only or not, you're going to be in a monitored area for them to know that you just got level 5. And I don't know what it could be, and I don't want to say, oh, give them more weapons or better shield or whatever, but
I'd like it to be tracked on the server or on a scoreboard how long you stayed alive as a level 5.
That's
would
all
be
you
cool.
should get.
That would be cool.
It shouldn't be any gameplay.
It would just go, WTFosaurus is infamous when you get to level 5, and then it just counts up as a timer. And having it on a scoreboard or something like that would make it funny, would make it fun.
Yeah.
I mean, some people hate the scoreboards,
then.
so it's not for everyone. And I do not want to encourage griefing. That's literally the last thing I want to do. People ramming each other in Port Olisar, I mean, you're the scum of the star citizen of the world. Some people find that it's really annoying. And I don't want people to grief, but I do want people to add to the variety of gameplay that we've got at the moment, because it is limited, and people that want to be pirates at the moment, people that want to have the conflict between two sides, because that's the only true conflict we can have in the PU.
You know what really excites me is after all the lagginess, because we obviously have a lot of lagginess and bugs and crashes and stuff, I'm really excited for this patch because it's going to allow for so much more emergent gameplay than what we've had in the past. It gives us goals in this, right? Like, for us playing Arena Commander for so long, it was because we had scoreboards, we had things we could go after. Now we can go after things. We can say, oh hey, I want to make sure I get that rifle, or oh hey, I want to make sure I have level 5 for such amount of time, or I want to hold down Korea or whatever, and there's reasons to go and do this. And so I'm really, really excited, because obviously we're getting, it's looking like we're going to be getting big patches once a month, right? And they're going to be spread out pretty far. And after about a week or two, it becomes less than fresh, right? So, and with such a limited amount of content that we have right now, this is really, really exciting for me because it gives us so many more opportunities than just pushing around a vending machine, right? Or just doing whatever. Now, yeah, you could say, oh, you know, we could go PvP, we could go do exploration or whatever. The exploration, the missions, those go by really quick. These are things that, like with every PvP thing, can be played over and over and over again. That is going to be really fun, and that is going to bring a lot of new things to the table. Like, what happens if you get level 5 in a multi-crew ship? Does anybody know yet? Does that give everybody that, or does that just give the person who's piloting it? Because that doesn't make any sense.
Well,
because if you have the just
reason we don't
turrets,
know.
if you just have the turrets firing, and the turrets are the one that's killing the person, does it give it the person the pilot? Don't know. I imagine
good point.
it's going to
The
just
reason
give
we
it
don't
to
know
the
is
pilot.
because of that multi-crew
Right.
bug where it's hard to get back in.
Right.
But that'll be something that'll be interesting. But like, just so everybody knows, like, you don't have to take part, because not everyone's played, maybe not everyone's seen everything, but you don't have to take part in actual PvP to gain these wanted levels. But yeah,
you
like
can do it
the
in-
one thing like I wanted to jump in before was about like giving the pirate some sort of not advantage but something, and Board had that's a great point. But you have to, I think everything needs to, I totally agree about the monitored space thing. Everything has to be in monitored space. If you hit level 5 and you weren't in monitored space,
Well,
nobody should know.
What I'm talking about is something like, if you kill a level 5, you get the ATT4. I think that if you're level 5 and you can stay alive for 5 minutes, you should get some sort of weapon in your thing. Maybe a pirate-based weapon.
I
or
actually
something
don't
like that.
want-
like
I
a
don't
rifle.
I
want
don't think
weapons
no.
in OLSR. I want achieves. I want forum badges.
Right,
I
yeah,
want
that would be
something that
cool,
says,
but I'm just
"You've
saying
unlocked
this is
That's what I want.
what they're giving for people to kill pirates.
Yeah.
There's nothing for you staying alive.
Because
There's-
who's going to give it to you? The security post Korea says, "Thank you for helping me. Here this is." You have to remember that they're going for realism in this game, and how could that?
Yeah, but
like,
maybe
think in your mind for a
maybe it
second what
unlocks.
possibly
Okay, look
could
at
be
listen.
real.
That could be smuggled in by pirates.
Listen, think of the top room in Korea. Maybe it allows you to unlock that crate where the little iPad's on, and there's a weapon in there. Right, and the pirates smuggled it in for you there. So then, when
Yeah,
you
you
go
can
to
have the
Korea,
mechanic
you can
trick,
go and
yeah.
open that, and you get the shotgun.
That's
Right?
a good idea. Or
So then,
even the same rifle.
The thing
same
is
rifle they give.
it will give incentive for people to try out both sides. To try them, because I'm going to tell you right now, I haven't killed a level 5 yet, but I'm going to try to. Not because that's how I want to play the game, but because I want to check it out. I want to see what that gun does. It gives me opportunity to play both sides and to see what I really want to do. And I think that it would be nice to sort of reward both sides. Now, I understand that a lot of people are like, oh, well, the griefing and the piracy is sort of treated as the
needs to be
same right now.
separated.
Yeah, that needs to be separated. I'm not saying the griefing, they should be kicked off the server and then their doors
100%.
locked. But for the piracy, I think locking them in their room for a specific amount of time, that's fair. And eventually moving that to a cell or
So we can
or
see them.
it would be cool if they just had a jail space
Like
station.
stasis pod, and you can
No,
blast
just its
them.
own jail station that you could go and laugh
Isn't
at people.
that
or
what
whatever.
the Post Korea is supposed to be? Isn't
No,
it?
no.
Isn't
Security
Korea-
Post Korea is for a security station.
I'm
It's
sure
a
they have some jail
security
cells there
station, but-
somewhere.
Yeah, like maybe, they could maybe throw them in there or something, or they could make a whole other station with them in there. But yeah, I would just like to see something like that, just to sort of, because what I'm doing, going and turning off comrades, going and killing security, even PvPing. That's still taking skill. That's still doing something. I should still get some sort of thing back for it, and just like you do, vice versa. You can choose one way or the other, or you can sit somewhere in between. But I'm really excited. I actually, after this podcast, I'm gonna be going live after this. I'm looking for people to come help me. Basically kill me and a couple other people over and over again, so you get level 5, so I can kill you, and we can show you guys what that weapon looks like, how it acts in Korea and stuff like that, and maybe prevent some pirates from taking away their stuff.
You shoot
so
me
we're gonna play
my
the good
back,
guys.
I'll get you kicked from the server. I
That's right.
like your...
That's right. That's how it works. But we can all see what the weapon is and how it fires and and all that.
Yeah,
And from what I
haven't
understand, it's an
actually
energy
seen it
weapon. I haven't seen it either. So, yeah. And so that's pretty much it for our news. For that, we do have some other news. The physicalized EVA is really cool. The animations feel solid. Obviously, there's some bugs where you lose your helmet and your jetpack and you can't do anything. That kind of sucks.
You don't need to. Why would you need a helmet or jetpack in space? Come on, Soros.
right.
Just hold your breath.
Exactly.
Just hold your breath, man.
Okay.
And then use the breath to blow you around.
Yeah. Right?
Perfect.
And because
That's what it
there's
sounds
no
like.
there's no atmosphere in space, you should just move forever.
I did the sounds.
But the physicalized EVA is really cool. It feels a lot more solid. It feels like there's weight behind the characters. Moving with the weapons feels good. I know some people were complaining to me about some of the weapon bob or head bob as well. For me, I like how it is right now. I mean, there's a lot of things they can do to make it that much nicer. But for right now, it's definitely a step in the right direction. I don't know how you guys feel about it. Or if you've even had a chance to run around Korea.
I mean, so I like the way that your weapon retracts when you're in front of cover
that's
now.
really cool too.
The animations are beautiful. I mean, they compared to what they were, they're really smoothed out. We've got really high frame rates as well. Normally, when I'd be having ships exploding and lots of animations going on, my frame rate would go to dog shit. But now it's significantly higher. And let's not forget the party system.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what we've been waiting for as content providers.
It's working.
It seems to be working, yeah. Me and Twerk were able to get into a game regularly with
consistently.
each other. Yeah.
Like I would get booted and bust out and like crash out and come right back in.
Yeah.
Like
and
it was so easy. We did the whole stream.
This is going to be great for content for Star Citizen. The quality of things that are going to be happening for just across all YouTubers and streams is going to massively improve when this goes live, basically. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, definitely.
And
latest patch?
I think that's pretty much it. There might be some.
There's some other news.
There's other news, but with the PTU, there isn't.
Yeah.
I mean, Yellow looks a bit different as well. I mean, move stuff around and they're giving stuff paint jobs and things. And
I
Yellow
don't
has
like
a
the way
better
Yellow
astro
looks.
look.
Well, the whole map got huge.
Yeah. I mean, it's all relative. It's really hard to tell the scale.
If you fly, well, you can actually. If you fly in between ICC Probe 849 and Security Post Korea, and just take a look off to your left-hand side, you'll see all of the comm arrays and everything around the planet and on the other side of the planet. It's a really cool view. And then if you go the other way, look on your right. If you just go back and forth, it's really, really cool looking. And you can see all the different quantum points and everything. It's really cool. And it gives you an idea of the scale.
Do you mean fly in between them and then press B? Or can you actually...
No, I just hold Alt.
Physically
I
see
hold
them?
Alt and just look over.
So you physically can see... You don't see the blue markers. You actually
see the blue markers, yeah.
Oh, the blue markers, okay.
Yeah, because you're in quantum, right? So the blue markers are all up. So you look over and you can see Crusader, and you can see some of the smaller planets or moons, and you can see all the blue markers. It's really cool.
I'll check that out. I'll check out the scale.
It's pretty neat. Yeah, if you want to do other news, Twerk?
Sure. This was from RTV. They finally... Other than they gave us some details on the Corvette, and I know you two are probably upset because you were really hoping it was going to be Drake. But
I knew it was going to be this stupid manufacturer.
RSI, yeah.
So it's going to be made by RSI, and it's going to be 100 to 110 meters long, and it's currently being called the Polaris, and it's going to be the ship the Idris was originally going to be, and it's the smallest capital-sized ship. So. Let me know about your disappointment, guys. But also, what do you guys think about it?
It just means I don't have to part with my hard-earned money. That's all.
So you're not going to buy it?
I'm not buying one. No. I might.
You buy
at the right price.
Yeah.
If it looks good, I mean, for me, it was I wanted Drake, then Aegis Dynamics, then RSI would have been my the level of manufacturers it went down in. So I'm okay with it being RSI, but it will still have to look right. It will have to be able to be a solid base of operations, a command and control ship.
Yeah, like what kind of things do we think should be in this? Obviously, it should have a couple ships on it, right?
Well, this is the thing for me too, right? Like I may, depending on what the price is, I may still pick one up for a giveaway, or if it's under that mark, which I imagine it's gonna be. I hope it's gonna be under $1,000.
I would think.
Then that means it'll be
know.
tradable.
I hope so.
Right, and then if that's the case, then maybe I'll give one away. But the way that I look at it is this: yeah, it could be a cool ship. It could still look neat. I really like the Carrack, for example. I know that's not RSI, but that's a non-Drake ship that I really like that I don't own. But for me, I know I'm picking up the Buccaneer. You know, there's another ship we're going to talk about here in a second. I'm going to be buying that. You know, and then there's also the Prowler, which I don't even know what that looks like. But if it's anything what I think it's going to be, I'm probably going to be picking up that as well.
Yeah, just for your
purposes. Right, for my purposes, exactly. So it's like, well, this may be something I go after in game if it's cool. Just like the Carrack. The Carrack is something I really want in my fleet, but it's something that I want to steal or earn in the game.
Makes sense. I don't really see spending much more than like I kind of have like a little bank of credits that I'm spreading around, and I don't know if I think I would spend. I don't think I could part with another $250 because I have a $250 credit right now. I might go like up a little bit more to show off some ships that I don't have.
I can say
I don't see that happening with that
almost certainly. That it's going to be more than $250.
Well, no, yeah, but I'm thinking like the 500 because I have a $250
I think 450
bank.
to 600.
If I spent another 250, would it be worth it? Is it going to be in hangar? Am I going to be able to show it off anytime soon? Because that's why I have that little bank of RSI credit is to when a ship comes available that I don't have, I want to be able to show it off to my stream. That's it. And then, you know, right now it's the Vanguard, and that's going to get melted for the next thing that I don't own, you know, so I don't think it's worth it for me because I don't. Maybe that's again depending on where I go in my gameplay. You know, having a base of operations. This could be that ship. Who knows? But it's just not something I'm quite interested in. But I think it's cool that they're giving us some details on it, and it's cool to like talk about it and stuff too.
I think it's gonna be a half size Idris. Basically, it says it's going to be
how
like,
much bigger.
I think it's going to be
get?
the same size as the original Idris.
The Idris is currently 240 meters long.
So there you go. It's half the size of the Idris right away, basically.
So I feel that it's probably going to be literally a half Idris.
Well, how long is a constellation? 50 meters?
I don't know.
I'll look real quick.
So then people can see what it actually is going to be, and we can actually
constellation is 60 meters long.
So two constellations long.
It's not that big.
Yeah. So it kind of is. We don't know
how wide it is. Remember how wide the Idris is? The Idris is almost as wide as it is long.
So the Idris, nothing is going to be as wide as the Idris ever. Because I don't understand why that ship got fatter and fatter. Well, actually, I suppose I do. They were doing single player walk around,
and then the crawl space.
This needs to be bigger.
Stuff, yeah.
Well, you're going to spend like a lot of your time on it in Squadron 42, I would think. So I guess they needed to make it feel like a livable space.
Are we? So this is an interesting thing. I feel that we're probably going to spend a small percentage of missions on the Idris and then get moved up to a Bengal or Javelin. I think we're going to move around.
Maybe, yeah. Oh yeah, they did say Javelin's a big part, right?
I think the Javelin's just at the beginning. Because I think they let slip in one of the interviews that you pilot a Javelin at the beginning, spoilers. But they didn't say spoilers, so I can say that without saying spoilers. Or spoilers in the thing. But I don't know that for certain. So I think you're going to get moved around lots of different command ships, with maybe coming back to that one regularly, or I don't know. But I don't think we're going to be on it all the time. Definitely not. I'm not sure if we're even going to be on it the most of the time.
Interesting, yeah. We'll never know. Well, we'll know eventually.
we will never
know.
Star Citizen is this.
You heard it here first, guys. We'll never know.
I just broke my NDA. Now I'm just.
And somebody is asking how big the Starfarer is going to be. I am going to. I'm not even going to look, but I'm going to tell you it's going to be as big as the Starfarer.
It's 90 meters long.
Yeah, it's almost as big as this Corvette that they're talking about. Think about that. That's crazy.
The Starfarer is massive.
Yeah.
Well, see, the Starfarer, a lot of the Corvette's going to be internal room that you can move around in.
The Starfarer has those big drums on the back.
Yeah. So, but the Starfarer is huge internally, like huge. FPS level sized. It was a nice way of describing it, because it looks like an old school Unreal Tournament or Quake level size.
Yeah, like we're gonna get lost. They also, I mean, moving on. They also mentioned the Drake Dragonfly. Like, it's happening, man. Like, it sounded a while ago like it wasn't gonna happen, and it's happening.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm gonna be honest. From the very beginning, I kind of knew it was gonna happen, just by the amount
the community
they were
loved
pushing.
it, right?
Not only did the community love it, but Ben kept sort of pushing it and being like, you know, guys, and it was the most detail of all the ships that we got. Like, oh, it's gonna be the space motorcycle thing and all this other stuff. And then they said the Xi'an Scout, or what was it? It was the Reliant, is like an egg.
Reliant won that one. Yeah.
Remember? They said it was gonna be like a Xi'an egg. And it didn't look anything like an egg at the end of the day. It looks kind of like an A-wing or whatever. So it's like, yeah, it was interesting, but it was kind of noticeable from the very beginning that they were going to do this. I want to remind everybody that we are taking questions, ! Question in chat. If you have a question for myself, Twerk, or BoredGamer about our channels, our content, if you have any questions about Star Citizen, any questions basically about anything, really, you know, remember that we don't work for CIG, so we'll answer to the best of our abilities. If we know an answer for sure, we will answer that. If you want to hear us speculate, then we can do that as well. I think that's it for news, though.
Yes.
So this is what's going to happen. I have an interview here with John Erskine that we are going to watch together. We're going to come back after that. We're going to do some questions with you guys. We're going to sign off after that. And then we're going to move forward and do the last two interviews. We're going to show you one with David Peng and Disco Lando at the very end. And then what's going to happen after that is then I'm going to move back over to my channel and we're going to stream and play some 2.2 PTU, 2.2A PTU. So if anybody wants to join me with that, we can do that as well. So without further ado, let me move to this. I think this is going to capture the wrong thing. Yeah, so that's going to capture the wrong thing. There we go here. So yeah, if you guys want to mute your mics, I'm going to mute mine. And this is when we were at CIG Austin, sitting down with John Erskine. Let me know how the audio level is in chat as well. I'm WTFSRS, and I'm here with Clifford, a.k.a. Miku, and Twerk17 here at CIG with John Erskine. Hello, John. How are you today?
Hey, guys. How are you doing?
Excellent. Thank you for having us and taking your time to answer some of our questions today. We're going to start off right away here. Can you describe what an average day is for you and what you're working on right now?
Sure. So I'm in charge of publishing for Cloud Imperium. This is essentially most of the stuff that happens after the code gets checked into source control and turns into a game build, gets published to a server, things that happen on the website, that sort of thing. So I usually start early. I usually have meetings at home in the morning with our teams in Europe and some of our teams in Montreal before I get to the craziness of the office environment. And then here in the office we have our teams that are testing the latest builds. We're usually making builds and publishing them to different staging environments and test environments. So I interact with the teams here, and often it goes into the evening as I'm working with the teams in Los Angeles that are doing marketing or other activities that may eventually end up on the website. So it's usually long days because of the way that our company is structured, from all the way the German office is the farthest time zone into the future for me, and then the LA office is usually bringing up the end of the day for me as well.
Well, this one's from a personal friend of mine, Knight Rider. He wanted to know what are you most proud of in your contributions to Star Citizen? You know, as a whole, you can think of.
A lot of my work happens kind of behind the scenes to a degree. Like, I'm not making the game features that you see, but my teams make those features come to life on the servers. And so some of the things that I'm most proud of would probably be invisible to most people outside the company, because, you know, if it works, then you sort of take it that that's what it's supposed to do. But there have been a lot of times where things, you know, work just right at the last minute, and it's maybe a little bit of duct tape and bubble gum or holding things together on the back end. So, we have systems. All of our game servers are in the cloud, and so that's a very cutting-edge way to manage game servers in a multiplayer global online environment. And so there's a lot of technology that we've utilized and created in order to make that happen in a seamless fashion to our players. So I'm really proud of that stuff. And then there's a lot of the work that we've done on the platform, the website, and the e-commerce system that's actually very unique in the way that our pledge system works and how you can take a pledge and turn it into store credit and buy something new. And that sort of flexibility and liquidity in an e-commerce environment is, as far as I know, it's essentially unprecedented. There's not really anything else like it in the world. And most of that is technology that we've invented with our team in Montreal at Turbulent.
Nice. Awesome. Also, a second one. What has been some of the hardest hurdles to overcome working at, Star Citizen? Because, you're kind of like the unsung hero, kind of in the background, kind of getting all the pieces to come together and making them work cohesively and working close to Chris and everybody across. So what has that been like,
It's exciting and it's challenging. The hardest hurdle to overcome is that in a traditional game development model, you would design, develop, test, load test, and at that point it would basically go to the public at some point. In our environment, those steps are incredibly accelerated, and oftentimes we'll skip entire steps of that and basically take code that's like straight from a developer. It might have been something that was checked into source control just hours ago, might go to the test environment or even to the live environment. And so that rapid pace of development and publishing is it's very challenging to support, because normally you would have a lot more time to ensure that if there are any defects, that they're found by QA and they get assigned to a developer and they get fixed. But we're really operating in a cycle time that's unique. It's very unique. And because of the community involvement that we have in the process, then we're also able to take risks in that area that's unique to our project. So there have been plenty of times when we will, let's say, gamble a little bit, push something out there in order to get feedback on it. Because even as much as we could test it internally, then we just can't get enough eyeballs on it. So if we could we have about a dozen testers here who are just, around the clock. They're testing the game. And then, but once we put it on PTU, it might be 100 or 200 or 500 people that could help us test it. So we do, we're pretty aggressive about how we'll put stuff out there to get feedback. So that's really unique.
Thanks.
One of the things that I loved when it came out was the star map. I'm assuming you had a decent amount of interaction before that came online, right?
That was my team. The team at Turbulent worked with Benoit Bizajon, and the team there worked with various design teams in the company to design and implement that.
And it's amazing. It's won awards. Like, how much of a challenge was that? Since it's just downright awesome, and I think the community is overwhelmingly amazed by it.
An enormous challenge.
Yeah.
So that's another case where we literally invented technology for that project. The type of rendering that we're doing in the browser for that map is very, very, very cutting edge. The team that worked on designing a lot of that stuff created very custom shaders and specific ways to, little details, like to render the way that the lines look. We spent just a ridiculous amount of time getting just the perfect look for how the lines look and how the jump point trails would look and different things like that. So it was really a cool project to be able to do that in the browser. And we're now beginning the process internally to do. What I would say is that what we're doing now is we're doing a feasibility assessment to see how we can take that technology and use it in the game.
Oh,
and
cool.
so we're actually doing a study to have the team that built that map essentially do I would call it at this point a feasibility study. It's not a done deal, but essentially to say, can we take that technology that we made for the web and use it in the game? And that's really cool to me, because usually it's the reverse. It's rare that you would take something from the website and say, wow, this is so great, we're going to just see if we can port it into the game. It's usually the other direction.
Going along with that, is that tech something? Now, obviously, I don't want to ask when questions and things like that, but is that tech something that we're going to continue on and see throughout the development of the website when new features come online in the future, maybe?
Do you mean in the star map in particular, or to other things?
Yeah, like just because it's beautiful, so maybe we can see more like cool things like that in the future.
It would be my hope that that's the case.
Okay.
Essentially, what we did for the star map is we built a WebGL renderer in a browser to a degree of fidelity that doesn't exist anywhere else. So if we can reuse that technology that we created in other areas, I'd say that's a huge win for us.
Awesome.
Okay, so I have a question here from 00Zim00, lots of zeros in his name. In the $25 million stretch goal, there was a discussion to spin up servers globally. Now this is sort of a when question, but when do we expect to sort of start to see that come online, where it's more global, where guys in Europe can be connecting to European servers, Australian servers, or whatever?
That's a complicated question to answer because it ties into the design principles of the game. One of the core design principles of the game that Chris has established for my team to support on the technology side is that it's one game world. It's not like other games where you might say, oh, well, I play on server 7 and you play on server 9 and maybe I could transfer my character over there and we could play together. We want to have one seamless game universe. We have, there was a point where we had servers running in a European data center and in the US data center.
Oh, interesting.
And when you logged into the game, you could choose which servers you would connect to. What we found is that at this stage in the alpha, there just weren't enough players to keep both sets populated. So we've done some technology proof of concepts to make sure that we can support that functionality with the technology that we've built today. But we don't really have enough players online consistently to keep them full. One of the things that we are doing on our side, in a perfect world, that whole process would just be invisible. And you wouldn't even have to know or particularly choose whether you're playing on European servers, US servers. You just play. And you get the best performance possible based on the connectivity that's available for where you are, maybe where your friends are. So from a design perspective, Tony Zurabek and his team have done a lot of work to look at how the matchmaking design should support the technology that we're building. So we might say a design goal, in my mind, would be don't make it so that you necessarily have to choose a region or do that stuff. We know, we can tell what the best possible connection is for your endpoint, but then we also know a lot of things about like who your friends are, what regions they're playing in right now on the back end, and we could say instead of you maybe sort of regionalizing yourself into a Europe bucket or a US bucket or an Australia bucket, we'll make sure that you can play with your friends and always have the best experience. So it's a long-winded answer, but it's a thing that we're working on, even though it may not necessarily be all that outwardly visible, but it's something that we're spending a lot of time looking at internally.
Awesome. And I had a question for you, not really about your job or anything, but what are you looking forward to personally the most about just Star Citizen in general?
That's a good question. I like the idea that you can sort of choose your own adventure in the game based on how you're feeling at a given time. So you could say, well, today I really kind of want to do, mission-based kind of experiences that are more focused on a storyline or kind of a narrative experience. Or you could say, well, I just want to go and mine an asteroid and kind of maybe zone out a little bit or something. Or I would feel like having kind of a social experience, and I'm going to go with my org and we're going to do a group mission or something like that. So I like the idea that within one universe and one experience you could have lots of different kinds of experiences, instead of saying like, oh well, tonight I feel like playing Call of Duty, and then tomorrow night I'm going to feel like playing Destiny or something like that, and then you're sort of going from community to community or ecosystem to ecosystem.
Yeah, you get it all in one place, which should be really
I think a lot of people really like that flexibility that's there. You can do the story-based stuff. You can go and do some PvP or PvE stuff, or you can go and work by yourself or work with people, and basically, like you said, just sort of as you feel like doing it, you can just go and do it.
Yeah, and the piece I really like about that is that you can still have your friends and your enemies and your org mates and your people that you might meet that are all in the same kind of shared sandbox.
The game we've all been waiting for, basically.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it for our questions. So thank you for taking the time to sit down with us today. Very much appreciate it, and honor having you here. So
absolutely,
thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
So there we go. That was our interview with John Erskine. Really cool. And what was really awesome with that, unfortunately, we had NDA with it, but he went into a lot of stuff with us afterwards as well. And it was just a really cool guy, really cool to talk to, and you could tell was super into what he was doing. You're muted before you even.
Yes, sorry. And he totally thought that he was uninteresting. His job was uninteresting. And like, he just, while his job isn't making beautiful spaceships, like he has a lot of input on what goes into the game. And
well, it was a lot of the technical side of things. And I think that a lot of people assume that a lot of people aren't interested in the tech stuff. For me, that's the most important, right? Like, the assets are really nice. They're cool. Like, don't get me wrong. They look beautiful. But they don't... They're just assets without the functions behind them.
So
and without the server structures and all of that behind it. So that was, like, super cool. I really, really appreciated that. Now,
for me, it's very much about economy and pretty assets.
Yeah. Well, the economy needs...
Screw your back end.
Well, the economy still needs a back end to work.
Yeah,
you can't just be like, oh, here's some numbers. That's not how it works.
Here's some numbers. Enjoy.
This is how it works. So we don't have very many questions this week. I think we only have like 6 or 7. But that's okay, because I still have all the ones from last week as well. So I'm going to jump into these questions. If you do have any questions, !1 question in chat. We're going to do this. Like I said, we're going to do our sign-off, and then we're going to show off the last 2 interviews, which we have with David Peng and Lizzle Dizzle, or Dizzle Lizzle, if you will.
Is that your pet name?
Special name. Special name.
That's his new name. Hashtag Lizzle Dizzle. So that's Disco Lando. And so our first question comes from... Actually, let me pull this up here first, so I don't have to look off to the side. Our first question comes from Proximus, And his question is, how do you think heavy repairs will be handled to a ship when it's on a long-range exploration deep in an unexplored region that is too far from repair ships or stations?
Poorly.
They kind of tell us that, right? Sort
Well-
of. I mean, if you're away from stations, you're going to be doing it with the Crucible, and the Crucible.
Well, he
While
says
not-
away from repair ships. So we know...
And-
Oh, like internal
Yeah.
repairs then, and external.
Well,
just
we
in
know
EVA?
that they're going to have...
How long did you patch yourself up for?
Yeah, they've talked about having like a broom closet full of spare parts and things like that, and ways to repair it. The heavy repairs, I don't know if you're going to be able to do that. You might have to call for help.
Think about like how are you going to be able to take a huge piece of armor or whatever and like with just yourself and no ship like an EVA, like are you really going to be able to do something like that? Probably not, right?
But you don't need to repair all of the heavy damage.
No.
So the idea is on these long range
You need to be
explorers,
able
they're
to
going to
limp
take
home.
damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all you need to do is patch job a lot of stuff. You're going to be losing turrets. You're going to be losing
Losing
certain
wings.
systems. You don't
You
need
don't
all
need
these
most of
systems.
your maneuvering thrusters and things like that.
You don't need your medibay. You can reroute all the power. You don't need all your generators.
Yeah.
So you might lose huge sections of your ship and just go, well, just weld those doors shut.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Just
might have to
drive-
close off a section.
Or you might not have gravity until you get home on your ship, and that just might be how it is. But the thing is, you say if you're too far from repair ships or stations, well, maybe you might want to bring some repair ships with you, or maybe you might want to,
Stock your
have
force at least.
have something, another ship to come with you, so you can at
Yeah.
least go back and communicate. Go back to a comm relay to communicate that this ship needs help.
Well, it's going
If
to be
you
one of
can't
the
do it
limiting
outside the
factors,
game.
isn't it? It's going to be fuel and how much damage can you take before you have to go back.
Yeah, I mean, and this really comes down to a thing that we mention a lot of times. I don't know how much solo play there's really going to be in this game, right? You're really going to have some friends, and when you get injured,
Well,
to have them come help you
it
out.
depends on what the missions are going to be.
Yeah.
missions could
also,
be very
there's got to
solo.
be NPCs that can come out and repair you. Think about that.
Yeah.
You can call an NPC company. Like, I'm sure that there's going to be this sort of factor in there as well, where, yeah, you might be far away from repair ships, but maybe you can limp to an area that's a little closer that you can get repair ships or something.
I feel that there will be a load of solo play available still, and I think that people will be perfectly happy with solo play. It's just
Yes, but with these super large ships, maybe
Yeah.
not.
I mean,
But definitely.
the idea is that the multi-crew stuff and working with teams, you're going to get so much more gameplay.
Yeah.
And that gameplay is what Star Citizen's kind of about. It's going to be about multi-crew ships and them working really well. These are the sort of things that made people put so much in crowdfunding down for the game. I mean, it's an amazing idea, and they've got it working already. If you want to play single player, you're going to have that. You're going to have that ability, but you're missing out on so much awesome. So yeah.
So, thank you for the question, Proximus. Our next question comes from Girin, and he asks, do you think they will sell the Vanguard again on Saber release like they sold the Saber on the Vanguard release? Now, I think that they sold the Saber at the same time as the Vanguard because that's when the concept was ready. I don't think it had anything to do with the Vanguard. I could be wrong. I didn't really pay attention to it that much, but
I'm pretty sure that we're only going to get the Scout and the Saber
Yeah.
when the patch goes live,
yeah.
and that's it.
I don't think we're like you can buy the Vanguard Warden at any point, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's what I'm looking at now because I was like, I'm pretty sure that's still for sale.
I think it's.
I'm guessing he
I-
means the variants, right?
Yeah, I would assume he means the variants, but the Warden I think is available for purchase at any point as a standalone ship.
Oh,
Work
No,
is gonna.
it's
I
not.
didn't know that.
It's not.
It's
Yeah, I
not.
didn't-
And that doesn't really make sense
Doesn't
to
make
me.
sense because it's not a limited ship.
no. So no. So military, some of the military ships are semi-limited, so they only want to sell them at certain times,
Okay.
even if they're flyable.
Okay.
Interesting.
And I think the Vanguard certainly falls into the military category.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't know what their sales schedule is like. This is something that we could say something and they could go and do something else.
Yeah, I just assumed this whole time the Vanguard was.
I thought
or the Warden was flat
available.
or purchasable. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can rent
Just
it.
'cause.
And I didn't think it was a limited chip. I thought
No,
it was the base Hornet.
No, I think like stuff. Even the Saber. I think the Saber will be only sold at certain times, like the Super Hornet is.
Okay.
So because they're military.
Yeah. So if you want one, go get one.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
but not at
now.
the moment because you can't.
Because you can.
Yeah, but with that
well,
said,
maybe by the time you see this video, you can.
with that said, they'll probably do military. Like,
Sales.
hey, try the military ships, and they're buyable.
Yeah, they're definitely
couple
on sale
times
again
this year.
for release.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Couple
But-
times in 2016 at least.
Garen, thanks for the question. And our next one comes from Trend93. What
Hey,
letter in the alphabet is this PTU going to reach? 2.2X, 2.2Z, or Z?
E.
I'll go with H. It
So
seems
that's
like
it?
there's a
I'll
lot
say-
of issues at the moment, and it's
I'll
going to
say
take a little
F.
while.
F.
For someone that works in the professional gambling profession, Twerk, I
Yeah.
would say never back what Twerk says.
Never-
If you're gonna
no,
bet on
Twerk's-
anything.
I've lost
Twerk's
every bet I
bets.
made on this
Every
channel.
single one. It's not even like
I want to bet at work
most.
though. I want to bet at work recently.
So for me, this PTU test, first wave one, is one of the best. Other than the annoying crashes, it's pretty much good. Other than balance,
I'm getting more. I think I might be getting more crashes than most. It took me about an hour to actually get in this morning.
the crash is the only thing I have an issue with. Really, I want some balance stuff done. Like I want the Saber. It says people say the Saber's flyable. It's not flyable at the moment. It doesn't work properly. It's too much glare and stuff. But yeah, for me, I don't think it's going to get that far down the line. I think that's why I think E.
Okay,
It's my thinking.
fair enough. I feel like with the crashes, some of them might be difficult to close up.
What letter did you say, Saurus? Sorry, I kind of blanked out.
What letter in the alphabet is a PTU going to reach?
Yeah. What did you say?
I said F. F or
Yeah,
G.
okay.
Around. I'm
Okay.
gonna go with a safe space. Not as far as it could. We've seen them go that far before. But I think like in between 2.2 and 2.2A, they fixed a lot of the lag. Like not all of it, but a lot of the major issues. So I feel like they have a strong grasp on it. Plus with the auto submitter, that's going to help out a lot. Like what the big thing with them was they're getting more submissions than they expected. They were expecting 6 to 7 a minute, and they were receiving 30 to 40 a minute.
Yeah, I mean, because
so that's giving them invaluable information and a lot of information. So they're able to go in and see patterns and be able to fix those, especially with the crashes, which are the most important things to pushing that out to live.
it's a really good point.
So I think that they're going to be able to push this out, and it's awesome that it's in there. So it's going to be able to push it out a little bit faster than we normally would see, I would think, because of that. So, Trent, awesome question. Our next one is from King Bullgod, and he asks, if you could select one of the planned features to be fully implemented in the next Star Citizen patch, which one would it be and why? I'm going to go last here. And either of you let me know when you think you're ready.
For me, it's shopping. I know you probably would think I would say mining, but I think with shopping comes a system with cargo, a system with money, a system with buying and selling. I think those are all really important to get to mining. So I think if I wanted to choose one that comes in the next release, it has to be shopping, because it brings those three things in that kind of bring together all the other aspects of the other gameplay, because it brings in UEC, REC, whatever EC that they're going to bring into Crusader. I think it's really, really important that they have a monetary system and a buying and selling system, because that brings everything else in there. And then the Astropub also mentions that brings persistence also.
Yeah.
So it's so important, that back end for shopping, for everything to happen. It brings the economy.
I think that brings in the most stuff.
Yeah, which is why I would like that. And then mining can come after for me. And
mining is your
we all know how much I want mining.
You've kind of stolen almost exactly what I was going to say. So
You know why? Because I'm really smart.
Yeah, you are
Mine
pretty
is
smart.
completely different.
I wonder what that means. If I'm really smart and yours is completely different. No, okay. Go ahead, Board. I'm sorry.
So I would want persistence the most, obviously. I like the idea of being able to go into a server and my stuff to be staying there when I log out and come back in. People will be flying around the same server. Great. Awesome. Cool stuff. I want the shopping stuff, all that sort of jazz. The most thing, though, I don't know. It's persistence and mining for me. Just so much. I need economy. There's so many things I want. Can I guess what you're going to say, Saurus?
Yeah, give her.
Boarding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And for me, it's boarding. And because with boarding, I agree with you guys. The thing is, I know we're getting we know we're getting shopping soon. We know that they've been working on it and telling us more and more about it. So I just sort of assume we know that's coming. But
I know what I'd want next. Sorry.
But yeah. So boarding also comes with being able to all the damage states on the ships properly, being able to burrow through the side of the ship, being able to hide in things, going in and turning off specific functions of ships, or disabling a ship from the inside, shooting pilots in the back of the head, all kinds of like cool stuff, sneaking on ships, and once again, this sort of comes with cargo, because then you can sneak into cargo and have them load that and stuff as well.
Sneak into cargo.
So there's some things with that it's more than just boarding, but the boarding also gives you more gameplay from the piracy side of things, and for the bigger ships, a way to sort of protect them and a reason to fly with more players instead of just yourself. You can be very effective with yourself with just the Constellation, right? Just flying by yourself, you can be okay with it, but if you're by yourself, then you can't protect yourself from the inside as well. So, yeah, I think that would be really cool. What was the one that you came up with that you thought of after?
So over the last couple of weeks, I've been getting severely, really, really hyped for Planetary Landing.
Yeah,
it's been getting because I've been watching the videos and thinking this is actually quite amazing, because we've only seen the smallest possible version really of Planetary Landing in that asteroid, in the Nix landing zone basically. And it's going to be amazing. I mean, it's going to be really fun for exploration.
Do you think we're going to get the planetary landing when they bring Nix in? Do you think
I hope so. I doubt it, but I hope
you think
so.
those
I don't
will
think
both
so.
come in? Just with
I think
that,
Nix is going to be another. I think Nix is going to be another ArcCorp where it's we explore the landing zone.
Yeah, so it's likely that the first iteration of it will be a quick ArcCorp experience, but it depends on how quick those Germans work, really, doesn't it, in the Frankfurt studio, because they're so efficient and awesome at their jobs.
Yeah,
they could have it ready a lot sooner than we think.
No, this is going to sort of branch off, and this is going to be a question for me, I guess. Off of that is, if they're going to do the planetary landings, how do you think they're going to do planets like ArcCorp, or what's the other one that's all fully developed and is just the entire thing is covered in metal? Right, like ArcCorp, if you think about that entire planet has been developed it has buildings and everything all around it. So how are they going to make it so you can fly along that planet and still make it feel like it's like with rocky things and with plants and stuff like that? That's going to be a lot easier. Whereas with ArcCorp, do you know what I mean? Like it's
I have a feeling there's going to be that there's going to be a lot more of. We're going to see the rocky stuff in the plants and the real life feel of the planetary landings.
Yeah, but ArcCorp doesn't have that. ArcCorp doesn't have rocky.
But Nix isn't going to have that either.
Well, no, Nix is on an asteroid, right?
Yeah.
I think on heavily populated planets, a lot of the stuff will be automated landing.
Yeah.
Well, they kind of mentioned what they wanted to do with landings, right?
With
the we can land on them, but if we got out of that range, it would automate us, because they wanted to give us some freedom. So I think that's kind of like locked down. That's what they want. I don't know if that's what they can do. I don't even know if they're trying it or whatever.
I was in control of that air control tower on a populated planet. I would not ever allow pilots to do their own thing. It wouldn't be, this gives them more fun. I'd be like, you're coming near my airspace. You are automated. That is an automatic control of your ship.
But that comes into play with well, we're making a video game, so do we take realism or do we take fun? And I think they want to give us the ability to, fly in a little faster. That, I mean, that's one of the cooler things about Elite Dangerous maybe is to fly into the space station and land on the planet manually and things like that, right? Because people get pretty fancy with it and things like that. So I think that's one of those things where you can say, yeah, we want to do that, but obviously, like, it wouldn't make sense. Like every other space game, Privateer 2, you asked for landing, and you're coming in, and then a video played. So it just,
yeah, fair enough. So King Bull God, thank you for the question on that. Our next question comes from Bite Marks, and he asks, will, or do you think, if you don't know, they have more than one manufacturer of military capitals of each type? I.e., with an RSI Corvette, there could still be possibly a Drake Corvette, an Aegis Corvette, etc. Or is that it for now? I think we're going to see a lot of I hope we see a lot of redundancy in different ships. I mean, because we definitely see it in fighters. So I would like to see that redundancy come across to mining ships. I'd like to see it come across to exploration ships, capital ships, things like that, because I want these things to feel different, but still be able to perform the same things. Right? Like, I would love... I don't think we're going to get that right away, but I think later on in the game's development, or even... not even in the game's development, but after the game's been released, I think they will be releasing a lot of these more ships that are going to have new features on them or whatever, and they'll go with other manufacturers or whatever. They're going to have to see how everybody plays everything and what they think would make sense. Like, for pirates or something, maybe it would make sense for us to have, like,
what he's asking, though, is specifically, like, military capitals, and I don't think we're going to see military capitals that are different because you win certain contracts, and those contracts are the contracts.
Well,
right?
we might, because there's different generations of them, right? Just like we have the Cutlass was made for a military contract, same with the Hornet, same with the Gladius, same with the Saber or the F8 Lightning.
Yeah, those all make sense to possibly, like, okay, a Cutlass was made for a military contract, but it didn't win, correct?
Right.
So then they were able to repurpose it as something else.
Right.
Can you really repurpose a military capital
Sure,
size ship as something else and sell it? Probably not.
So with this question, I think that in the future we will probably have more manufactured military ships of capital size for corvettes, for destroyers, and that sort of thing in the future, because we might. I mean, we don't 100% know, but this game's going to probably have quite a long lifespan. Yeah, so I'm thinking 10 to 15 years-esque, sort of like very long lifespan for a game. And I'm just looking at what Eve did. I mean, I know they're not identical games, but they're both space games, and they attract the similar kind of people a lot of the time. And I think that why not? Why not if someone gets a great idea for a great capital ship? And we can see this from the community. Community are making amazing capital ships in their spare time. Some of these things are beautiful. I mean, why not include them? Why not in 5 years' time go, well, there's another military contract coming up, and they could release a load of military ships that failed.
Yeah, they could.
So I hope they make more. But at the moment, no.
Yeah, but I think we'll see that redundancy in non-military ships much quicker than we'll see it in military.
I also think when you said capital military ship, how would they repurpose it? They repurpose it with modules and things like that. The same way that they repurpose the Cutlass.
How are you defining capital ships? Because I define a capital ship as a ship of war.
I'm defining a capital ship as
size.
Capital
think
size.
capital size components, capital size.
So are you thinking like an Endeavour's capital size?
Yes. In my mind, that's kind of where I'm going. So you can turn, I guess, like with what Soros is going is you can turn a capital size military
warship into something else
that lost a contract potentially into something like the Endeavour,
an exploration ship or something. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I see what you're
mobile
going.
base or something. But Bite Marks, thanks for the awesome question. Our next question is from Proximus. Can you give us your opinion on why is this being super weird?
Is
Uh,
that the question? I don't know.
No,
Can't help
no,
you with
no.
that one.
I don't know either. I don't know why it's being really weird. That's better. Can you give us your opinion on official tablet app? Oh, it unclicked wrap. That's why. Meh, fixed. Can you give us your opinion on an official tablet app development for Star Citizen? Like inventory management or star charts, maybe even course calculations directly from the app. I have no idea. We haven't heard anything about that.
People will make mods for this.
Well,
sort of
not
thing.
only will people make
That's my
mods,
hope.
they said they were going to make something.
There already is a
themselves.
tablet app, I believe,
There,
right now.
There's one for
There's-
shield management and stuff.
Yeah.
But
There's
which is really cool.
ACS Titan, which is a
Yep.
very good one.
CIG
There's,
said they were hinted towards they were planning on making something themselves as well, similar to what Blizzard has for World of Warcraft or something.
I think
For-
they like a
for,
long
like-
time ago were like, we would like to do it, but nothing's in the plan yet.
There's
Have
some
they, like, hinted at
extremely there's some extremely talented modders in the community, right? We've got Alaran, who did the Hollow Explore stuff, and did so that's the sort of thing he probably would make in his spare time, as long as he doesn't have to memory hack stuff. The moment he's got XML files that he can just edit easily. Yeah, we're going to see mods for this, even if CIG do nothing. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't worry about that sort of stuff. Pretty much everything you can think of that someone cannot think of as a mod, someone will make at some point. And yeah, sorry, I interrupted there. I don't know.
Somebody
really know
asked if it's a stretch
judges.
goal, and they said, and people are saying it's a stretch goal, so it's obviously going to
Yeah,
happen.
that's why I thought it was. I thought
but
it was a
it
stretch
goes
goal as
down to
well.
the priority things, and
Yeah.
does it happen at release? Do all stretch goals happen at release? Maybe.
Yeah.
When is release? So it comes down to a lot of things, right?
They
but-
could just extend beta until it's
And
in.
what is their app going to entail versus what some of the people in the modding community can do?
Right, remember that the reason that they're creating all of this stuff is so we have APIs that we can work with. They're going to be giving us
Yeah.
public
Oh,
APIs,
it's gonna be so
and
good.
that we can already access some of it. So, pretty cool. But Proximus, thank you for the question. Our next question is from Tridus. Our last two actually are from Tridus.
Okay.
How do you think the distribution of money will work when paying other players for work that you require? Do you think there will be a system so players can give money away or can't give money away? I don't think so. I think there will still be ways for players to be able to trade money. There may be fees and things like that. It may be limited to a certain amount, except for when they're doing missions and things like that. And what might happen is you may set up a mission, say, I need so-and-so. It'll give you a template of things you can do. I need such and such materials delivered somewhere, or I need this person killed, or whatever, etc., missions you can think of. That could be in a format. And then you can pay, for example, we have the TDD, right? The Trade Development or Center, or whatever it's called, in Division, that's right. So you could go to them, and that's where this desk is. Now this is all hypothetical, right? But you go up to the desk and say, hey, I want to create this job. This is what I'm paying for it. And you give them the money. So your money is gone. And then whoever takes that job from out of the system then gets paid. And the TDD takes their cut out of that. I think that's how that's going to work for the most part. You'll also be able to do... Like, obviously, there's going to have to be ways where you can do shady dealings, like on the side and some back alley as well.
I wonder how that's going to work in specifically.
Yeah, I don't know how they're... Because, obviously, they're going to want to... We know that they're going to be selling currency, right? They already sell currency. And we know that they want to...
Prevent gold sellers.
Prevent gold sellers, although I don't think it's ever 100% preventable.
No, but
But-
they're going to do their best, you know?
But that means I don't think they're gonna... They may have some sort of fee for transferring money between players, and that might just be it. I wonder,
like, maybe something will have to get checked over a certain size, because, like, what I keep thinking about...
But what happens if you have an alt character on a different account that you're sending money to?
That's what I was going with. Like,
Just go fee.
Or what
Fee.
if I have a viewer that I want to give away currency as a prize?
yeah,
gonna
and
have
that's
fees.
what I'm
You're
trying
gonna
to
have
say
fees.
is like, what are they going to do to stop? Because it's not just that. It's like, okay, I have millions of credits on this account, and I want to give my buddy who's not done anything in the game those millions of credits so he can get started quickly. And they don't really want. I don't think they really want those things to happen because those mechanics are what make gold sellers work. Right?
Well, the thing is
able
they
to
kind of
just
want
transfer
that,
things
but
willy-nilly.
they've said they want that to happen. They want the casual players to be able to experience as much as the hardcore players. They have said specifically that's why they're selling the currency in the first place.
Yeah.
Right? That's one of the reasons. The other reason is to combat the gold sellers. Anyways, so
But if they're facilitating the trade,
thing is,
then
they have to. The thing is they're going to be setting the price of the UEC, right? And the best way for them to do that is to sell that at a price where it doesn't make sense for gold sellers to do it, or it's not very profitable for them to do it.
That'll never happen.
Yeah, which will never happen. It'll minimize it, but it'll make it so people will rather go through trusted channels, i.e. CIG, rather than going to some shady Chinese gold farmer.
I always go back to Ultima Online. They sell 1 million gold in Ultima Online for like 30 cents, and they're still doing it, dude.
Yeah.
So it's never that will never.
It'll never go to zero. There'll always be gold sellers for WoW, or you can still go and buy equipment and stuff like that and people will do the same thing. They'll sell real equipment for real money too. That is gonna happen. 100%. That's gonna happen. There's gonna be websites.
But it's going to be a lot more regulated if they sell the credits themselves.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot more regulated. It
Here's-
drops loads of stuff, and it drops all the activity of those black market shady deals a lot.
Like I kind of have a thing that just popped in my head where I can't imagine that there should. Well, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm thinking like, okay, I have this really rare item and I want to sell it to you. Does it always have to go on to like, maybe a marketplace or something like that where people can buy it and other people can bid on it too and buy it for that price? But then what if you put a grain of rice on there for 1 million UEC and your friend buys it? Like I'm trying to think of ways to avoid things like this, but what came in my mind originally was most of the time money's going to be transferred for you do this for me and I'll pay you for it, was what I was thinking. And then I'm assuming there's going to be a mission creation system and things like that, and that the game would be able to track player did X and earned this, but it's weird that I'm trying to think of a way to stop it, but it's just not. I don't think it's possible. Other than charging a fee,
just needs to be limited. I mean,
a limited amount for what you can sell. But then at what point? I guess this is the greatest thing about the economy that they've done was with it being hopefully 9 NPCs for every 1 player. Is that the economy hopefully will not get out of control like other games do, because the economy changes pretty often in other MMOs where the value of one thing can skyrocket, or the value of some and all these things can change. The value of the actual currency can change very quickly as well. So hopefully that'll be the biggest preventer of all of this, is everything stays more stable.
Yeah, I get that feeling as well. Everything will be a bit more stable because of that.
And that's what actually, I mean, somebody asked on the Reddit yesterday, what drew you to Star Citizen? And it was that economy video. And it was almost that specifically. So hopefully that's
Tritus, thank you for the question. Super awesome.
Yeah, man.
Our next question, also from Tritus, is how will stealing ships work in game? I know players will have insurance, so they should receive a new ship from filling a claim, which I'm going to just expand on and say that you also need to make sure that the raw materials are there and that the ship manufacturers are manufacturing them fast enough for you to get one right away. Sometimes it may take longer than that, and that is confirmed already. But to the thief who stole the ship, will they be able to use the ship, or can they salvage it for parts and sell it, or sell it as a whole? So we know a couple things. We know that, they could salvage it if they wanted to. They could rip off the equipment, right? I don't know if they have identification numbers for each piece of equipment, but I know for hulls they'll have identification, and that there will be some things, obviously most likely in pirate space, where you'll be able to change or spoof those ship numbers, not only on the hull, but when people scan the ship as well. There's going to be different ways to do that. So you'll be able to get scanned and see, it's not stolen, so it doesn't come up as flagged. So that's what we know. I can't say about equipment. I wouldn't see them putting individual components on equipment. It would be like saying with cars, right? So let's take a real life reference. Stealing a car, it's got a VIN number. But stealing the wheels off of a car, they don't really have numbers on them, right? Like, like I know it sounds lame, or like the windows or the doors or something like that. So being able to pull those parts off and then salvage the hull to keep all the weapons, to keep all the components and stuff like that.
You could just leave the hull.
Yeah.
You come back to your starship and it's up on bricks. Someone's stolen all the thrusters.
Yeah. Someone's taken the gravity generator out of it.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
You know, so it's floating and spinning in whatever. But
Well, that's a content video right there.
yeah.
Just annoying pirates. We're gonna steal. We're gonna creep onto his ship and steal the gravity generator.
We're just gonna unscrew all the maneuvering thrusters. I just really like his maneuvering thrusters, and they're worth a lot of money.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so I think that would be kind of cool. But I don't. Yeah, for the most part, they've sort of covered that in what they've talked about. Obviously, a lot of the things in this game are very liquid and are subject to change. They may find that something is too difficult or whatever, but for sure you're going to be able to salvage ships that are fine, right? We know that that's sort of what the reclaimer, right, just has that thing and is just going to grind everything to whatever. And even if not, once you've stolen the ship, you could just sit there and blow it up if you wanted to afterwards anyways, and then just reclaim it. So, whatever, if that's what you want to do. Or you can take it to your hangar and just strip it.
Yeah, and one thing that we do know is you're going to have to, like, he asked, like, how will stealing ships work?
Yeah.
What they mentioned is you have to
Shut them down.
disable them.
Yeah.
So you can disable them
EMP
one way or
jokers
another way. Right?
Sneak onto it, kill out the whole crew, right? Which is going to make sense for bigger ships, right?
You could disable the pilot. You could blow the ship up and salvage the pieces. Mm-hmm. Right, but obviously stealing the ship.
You could go in, kill the gravity generator, and then kill the engines from the inside.
Look, you guys are
Like, there's all kinds of
fantasizing on
stuff.
how to steal people's ships now.
Yeah.
See it in your eyes, describing it more and more like, oh my god, look, listen to the different ways I can kill someone
There's a reason
before I
I'm a
sell all their
pirate.
shit. Well, good job, you
Yeah.
monsters.
Yeah. Overdrive for life.
Oh my god.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Me and Twerk are not part of Overdrive.
No.
We're not
No.
pirates. Scummy Overdrive. Remember that, guys.
Scummy overdrive.
I'm part of their PR team. Scummy Overdrive.
Yeah. Our next question comes from Giran, who asks, Vanguard turret. Would you like to see an option to change it for a pilot slave turret, or make the current one a slave turret while there's no one in it, like the Cutlass Super Hornet? I think they were talking. We are going to be able to do that. But the downside to having a slave turret to the pilot is that you don't get a full 360 degrees of motion unless you look behind you, and then you can't use your other weapons and stuff. And it's
Do you think the size of the weapons might change too?
I don't think so. There's no reason for it to.
Yeah.
Right. In all honesty, there's no reason why any of the man turrets couldn't be slaved. In all honesty, there's no reason.
Yeah,
why they
I was
shouldn't be able to
disappointed
be
with
slaved.
that.
Well, they will be in the future, won't they? They'll just
Yeah.
go, yeah, you can slave them. I'm assuming.
Yeah,
I would hope so.
I would hope so.
They
as well.
might
I think-
cost a point of space, maybe.
Maybe.
But
But that doesn't make sense. Like in the lore of the game, it doesn't make sense that if you can have, like, you have a pilot input. It's like saying, a Tesla. Okay, you either drive it or you don't. Does it lose speed or it just doesn't make sense. So it would be cool that you could slave it. The only problem with that is then you don't have 360. That's what your downside is. Is you don't have 360 degree coverage anymore. You have coverage of whatever you're looking at.
Yeah, which is essentially your
Or
punishment.
if they
like
lock them to only move so far, I would be okay with that as well.
Yeah.
If they only lock them to move within a 90-degree radius that you see in your front, so you couldn't turn around and look behind you and shoot with them
Yeah.
when they're slaved. They would have to find some sort of balance thing. I mean, they look at it this way. They want a reason for everybody to do multi-crew ships wherever possible, right? They'd rather people hire NPCs or get their friends on board or talk to strangers and play with strangers in game.
Never play with strangers, kids.
I'm not even gonna say anything. So yeah, that's sort of where I'm coming from with that. There's no reason they can't do that. That actually touches on something else with turrets that I was talking about before, which is conversion. The conversion on turrets. Now we don't see that with gimbaled weapons, right? And I personally think with gimbaled weapons we should. I think with gimbal weapons, because not only they're on gimbals, right? They're able to move independently, like the eyes of a chameleon, right? Do this. So
Firing lasers.
it would be nice if we could get them to converge on something, but I think that maybe you could only have them converge on a super short range or something like that, because converging weapons is going to be OP if they do bring it in. But I do think I would like to see that, and the computer should be able to do that for you. But that's my opinion on that. I know we were talking about that before, and that was brought up because somebody asked me yesterday, how do fixed weapons converge? I'm like, no weapons converge at all in the game right now. Okay, so this next question, we have some visuals. Are you guys excited? We have some pictures to show.
Pretty excited.
First picture question.
Yeah. Okay, so in today's subscriber vault was images of auto turrets. Thoughts and comments. And I'm gonna bring these up here.
Yeah, it was what I was talking about that with Proxys earlier. He said, so CIG said no auto turrets, but then in the vault there's auto
UEE
turrets.
Idris automated turret.
So maybe that's older stuff. I didn't get to see the vault yet. Maybe that's older stuff that ended up in the vault.
I'm
that
showing
got
them on stream right now. There's 3 of them.
I want auto turrets. I like the idea that people have the option for auto turrets if they want them.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Right, and
Maybe
that comes into play
those
where,
are something where they would be, if you want an auto turret on your ship, then they would be knocked down a size or 2 sizes.
Yeah.
Right?
Like I'm not against a situation where I have 15 people that I am friends with, and I have an Idris, and we want to play. And there's no reason why I should be punished completely where I have to have an NPC, and that's not necessarily a punishment, but I can choose between having an NPC run my turret, or maybe go down a size, and like Sunday of Doom just mentioned in the chat, it might use more of your CPU power, or it might drain more power
drain
from
more
your
power in general.
Yeah.
It will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's certainly going to be different pipes. It is certainly going to use power. And
I'm
stuff,
not
of
against
course.
that at all.
Yeah. I think it's a good idea, in fact. And so it also comes down to thrifty people like me. Do I want to pay a crewman, or do I want to use a robot? They only have
No,
to pay
the
once.
robot, I guarantee you the robot will cost way more than a man turret,
Yeah.
right? So
Well, they're only going to be a single payment.
But do they now? Right?
Well-
I mean, people
well,
buy
that's-
these expensive robots to build cars because over time they cost less than the human.
right,
and
no,
they don't
I'm
have
just
to pay
saying
health
your
insurance and
upfront
things like that.
upfront payment is going to be much more expensive. Those
That-
upfront payments for robots
Yeah.
are way more expensive than upfront for people,
Yep.
but the long term, of course, is cheaper.
It's always better.
That robot of Ferrari isn't shooting lasers and space twerk.
Yeah.
Just remember that.
It may
that.
be
It may.
one day
Maybe one day.
because that AI, man, it's scary.
Yeah.
But yeah, So I don't mind it. I think the community might go up in arms or whatever because that's what they do occasionally.
They do.
But I don't have an issue with that. And to be honest, I absolutely think they should exist in the game. I just don't think you should be able to fly an Idris by yourself, have all unmanned turrets, and just be like, fire, guys, and take things out. And because it will drain your power too much. Your CPU wouldn't be able to handle it.
It would overheat
maybe you can have a
your
few
weapons
of them.
or something.
Yeah, maybe you can have a few of them.
Maybe you need someone in the ship at a panel that runs multiple of those, right? That can delegate the power to them and delegate when they're shooting and when not shooting, but they're not aiming them. So you have one person that can run 10 turrets, right? So it's a new job within, right? Do you know what I'm saying?
That'd be crazy.
Is that what
I
you're
like that
saying? Oh my
idea.
god, too?
On
or-
an Idris,
yeah.
that's a great idea, yeah.
And then
Yeah, no,
it just
I mean
gives
crazy
another
in, like,
job
a good-
within. Yeah,
way.
it's another job within, and that would be a way to balance it and make sense for it not to go on smaller ships because you're going to need that person to run a single turret or 2 turrets anyway. So who cares? Our next question and our last question comes from Kaitsu. Do you think it would be a cool mechanic to bring a level 5 criminal visible in uncensored areas only if he's caught by non-criminal ship sensors?
Yes.
And even in censored areas to broadcast only the location of criminal ships to bring fun gameplay so criminals could lure bounty hunters to an ambush in Korea or Kovalex. Trackers would be sought after for their better criminal tracking abilities. I think that's... I didn't think of the Hornet Tracker, but I'm thinking of the Hornet Tracker now as a mobile comm relay is kind of a cool idea.
Very cool idea.
It's a very cool idea.
And depending on
Short answer,
if
yes.
you're good or bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well thought out question, and I love it. I love it. Yeah, I totally agree with this.
I would like to see more gameplay with that kind of stuff. Obviously, we're still in the PTU with the first iterations of this. But
Like Tracker, I see being relaying information to the fleet.
well, we know that's kind of what the
back a little
Herald
bit,
does,
right?
right?
Yeah, and the Herald and lots of ships like that. Like that's where we're going with the. We're going to see a few ships doing that have capabilities of doing the same things, right? But little intricacies with them. But yeah, like I think that's a really good idea because what if so monitored space right now, what Luke Presley was saying earlier today was he said or yesterday, I can't remember, but it was like monitored space around a comm array is like 1 million kilometers around, something like that. Well, what if you come in the area of a Hornet Tracker or of a, one of these other ships, and it's like 200 kilometers around, or whatever, 1,000 meters around, let's say, around the tracker, that you become monitored, and people are like, holy shit, level 5 criminal, he's right there, and it pops up on the screen, and then everybody can jump to it. I think that's actually really cool. And maybe you have to have a bounty module on your ship or something like that with it, right? Like a bounty finding module. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that's
some
cool.
sort of you registered as a bounty hunter. Okay. Yeah. Like that.
Yeah,
like a
and
little
maybe you have to have killed, or maybe you have to have been successful in capturing or killing pirates to get to a certain level of bounty hunter before you have access to those.
Yeah, maybe then. That's
Yeah, it'd be like a
that's good idea.
special.
Right, so the opposite of, how we have level 5 bad guy, let's have a level 5 good guy. That's what I'm seeing. I want to see parity in a lot of this stuff.
And there will
Right?
be that. There
Yeah.
will definitely be that.
I do want to see a lot of parity in that, and so the better you are, the more access to UEE equipment you get, the more access you get to like to cool systems like that. But on the other side, the more parity you get, the more you get to the illegal equipment, and the more you get to the shady information and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's two things that is missing for me in Star Citizen at the moment, which I think is relatively easy for them to implement relatively soon, and it's Wing Commander's smack talk from enemies.
Yes.
I really want that. I want if I'm a level 5 pirate and or even a level 1 criminal, and I come near security forces, I want them to smack talk me.
Yeah,
And vice
versa. Yeah,
There's a little.
Vice
If you
versa.
don't turn off that comm, well, I mean, this is kind of gone away now. But if you didn't turn off that comm array quickly enough, that guy got pretty annoyed.
yeah, for
And
not
would
doing
talk
his
shit about
fucking
why you were
job.
so slow.
It pisses me off because like, yeah, we can't really do this, and also if you want to do the rest of our jobs, we're gonna go hang out on the edge of space and do nothing. So if you want to just turn this, it's like, thanks for doing our job for us. Now do you want to do this? And then if you
hurry
wouldn't
up.
mind, and hurry up. And while you're at it, there's a bunch of other comm arrays that we're supposed to do, but I'm
I
gonna go on my
imagine
lunch break,
that
so
guy-
just fucking go get those done for me.
I imagine that
It's like,
guy's
fuck
eating a
you.
donut, smoking a doobie, just chilling out in his cockpit, really fat. While he's
Yes,
asking you
I
that.
hate that guy.
Oh, yeah, so do I. I hate him now. But
yeah,
also,
it pisses
I want
me
the
off.
security to if I'm been killing pirates all the time, I want him to acknowledge me when I come in. He'd be like, "Oh my god, it's you! Oh, thanks, sir," or whatever.
Yeah.
I want that. I love the smack talk. I love that
Yeah.
level of
Yeah.
emotion.
And we already see a little like cool things where like if you consistently go back to the ICC probe, Tessa Bannister says some
Yeah.
things to us.
That's
and
more
stuff.
scripted, though. That's sort of like
You know,
Yeah.
you know what else
script
would be
is-
cool? I just thought of this right now. Once you know how I was talking about how to get something for the pirates and how to get something for like some more parody stuff, I guess. One of the benefits of getting to level 5 could be maybe it spawns in to, you know how we have AI ships that fly with us?
Yeah, maybe you'll spawn in some friends.
Maybe it'll spawn in some NPC friends that are like, oh, you know what? This guy's helping our cause. And maybe we don't know him. And it'll be like, hey, we heard you need some help. And just, you know, they
That's
come
a
in
great
and they
idea.
help you out. Because if you're getting tracked everywhere through space, I'm thinking of it as a pirate, but you can do this also as a bounty hunter, right? And you can have security pop in and help you out. You can say, oh, you know, we heard you need some help. Da da da. We saw this bounty's up. We could use you. You know,
That
you're doing
is-
a good job. And that would be a good way to balance it.
That is a great idea. That is an absolutely amazing idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know where we can ask for. I'm not sure where we
CIG, you're in
ask
chat.
them.
Make it happen.
Some people are, but yeah, like that. I think that's a
Make it
great
happen.
idea to have the balance on both sides. Because I mean, yes, part of the getting to level 5 and staying alive is the challenge, and part of being a pirate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure one of the reasons that you want to do it is the challenge,
Right.
Right. But going along with that, I think that's a really fair and balanced way to go about giving you the advantage for staying alive. Like maybe you
Yeah.
hit level 5, you're alive for 5 minutes, they pop in and say, hey man, like
Yeah.
yeah, like we see you need some help. Like,
And maybe every
and
time
do
you,
stuff. That's really
as
awesome.
a bounty hunter, you could do it the other way around too. That where they just hang out and follow you, right? So you have every time you kill, say, a level 3 pirate or higher, you get a point, right? For the good guy side. And then after you get to 5 points, you get a couple Avengers that come and hang out, and we know that they're working on the formation flying system, and they just fly in formation with you.
I
While
think
you go
that's
and do that stuff.
I think that's
that
a
would be
really
super
cool
cool.
idea.
And then
Yeah.
It would
you
be
could
awesome.
and then if you're playing with friends, then they could be building up their little friends groups, and then so you have groups of like, I don't know. I think that would be really cool to see.
I think it's a great idea.
This
yeah.
It would be the
credit where
first
credit's due,
implementation, of NPCs working for you.
Yeah, but credit where credit's due. The current implementation, the first iteration.
Oh,
of
it's
that bounty
amazing.
system, yeah, for
It's
the
amazing.
first iteration, it's very impressive, and it's a great
Right.
start.
Right. Yeah. For sure. So that's it for our questions. That last one went a little.
We went all over the
Yeah,
place
all
with
over
that
the
one.
place,
But
but
that was pretty cool.
That
Though.
was pretty cool. So yeah, I guess what we're gonna do is we're going to say what we're up to this week. Right now, we're going to leave you with some other things, and then we're going to go directly to these last 2 interviews. And then as soon as the last interview is done, we're gonna go offline, and then I'm gonna be coming back online. If you guys want to play some 2.2a. With me and help me get that new weapon and check that out, we'll do that. But let's start with Twerk. Twerk, what are you up to this week, and where can people find you?
Well, you're on my channel right now, so you can find me here. You can find me on Twitter at Twerk17Gaming, and same thing on YouTube, Twerk17Gaming, all one word. But what's going on this week is pretty much my brother's coming to town. My parents are coming to town, so you're going to see my brother on stream. We're definitely going to keep, testing 2.2, and like it's like I said, it's the first iteration of like real gameplay. So it's so exciting, and I'm just gonna be playing that. I think we got XCOM we're gonna play Friday because I'm really loving that game. It's hard with the PTU not to play it, so it might just be a Monday thing again. I'm debating that, but I'm really enjoying XCOM, so we'll keep up with that as well. At least on Mondays for sure, maybe still Fridays, but yeah, that's what's going on. We have some giveaways that are coming up. Basically, we all decided as the stream that when 2.2 comes live, we're going to hold off on any major giveaways because there's a lot of game packages that aren't available that might be coming back. Because when I do giveaways, I like to give game packages away in case the person doesn't have the game. So we're just going to kind of see what they do. If they don't put too many game packages in, then we're just going to start giving away some really cool single ships without game packages as well. So that's what's going on, and yeah, hopefully you come and check it out.
Check it out.
Yeah, stream at 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern. So not quite this time, but yeah. See you guys soon, hopefully.
I'm BoredGamer. What are you up to this weekend?
Well, I mean, Bite Marks has invited me out for a drink tomorrow, so based
Nice.
on how hungover I am the day after, will
a drink.
affect
He says,
exactly.
a drink.
There's never one.
Have you guys?
Never just one.
Everybody's seen the video, right?
Oh, they didn't see the best bit later in the
No.
evening with Aaron Roberts, though. That
No,
was...
they definitely didn't see that. Probably for the best.
and with
BoredGamer.
Sandy
Probably
as
for the
well.
best.
Nah, she doesn't want to talk to you. That was amazing. Oh, I'm so sorry. At the moment, I've been learning Adobe Premiere. I've just bought using Patreon funds. Thank you very much, everyone that's supported me on
Nice.
that. Legends,
Awesome.
thank you. Yeah, so I thought I needed a better package for editing because I was using Movie Maker for far too long. Yeah, so I've got Adobe Premiere, and it's so much more powerful. And my videos, as soon as I'm able to use it properly, will look a lot better, and I can do a lot more stuff with them. So it's going to be a mixture of me still learning that and getting out videos on 2.2 because,
Yeah.
yeah, it's quite exciting 2.2. And if they get it stable, we're going to be able to get
Forget
content
about it.
all together. All
You
of
and
us
I are
can
going to play a
sit together.
lot.
Yes, I know. We can
lot.
all play, and it will be so fun.
Yeah.
We can jump into Saurus' stream, and Saurus can just go, "Oh, come on in. We're doing
Yeah.
pirates versus
We can like
versus
add
security."
people to our, or even so, we could all jump out and all jump in together, which
Yep.
is
Yeah.
super awesome.
It's so exciting right
so
now.
good. But other than just playing Star Citizen 2.2 and learning how to job, how to do actual videos again, that's mainly what I'm going to be doing, and nursing hangover.
Awesome.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, for me,
There's gonna...
you guys can find me at twitch.tv/WTFasaurus or twitter.com/WTFasaurus. We are still in the process of moving those those websites over. I want to say once again, thank you very much to the patrons that are allowing us to move to the Google servers. We are
Yes,
actually
thank you
moving
so
to
much.
the exact same Google Compute engine that Star Citizen uses to host the game. And their servers, I think. So, yeah, that's pretty awesome. It's scalable. That means we can scale up as we need to. So if you are considering helping us out with that, it would be greatly appreciated. I still have the Salty Noodle shirt. That's 6 days left on that. I have a Twitch Vancouver meetup happening on Saturday, which is cool for a bunch of things. Now, I think it's at capacity now, but I'm going to be talking to a lot of streamers. I'm going to talk to Monster Cat and a couple other manufacturers that are there. And I'm going to start to get guests over because I got the new monitors and the new cameras here. If you've been around my channel at all, you've seen the new camera setup with multiple camera angles and the crazy green screen room and stuff like that. I'm really, really excited to start using that and starting to get over guest streamers and hanging out and making something for that. I don't know if I'm going to make that specific time slot or a specific day, or if we're just going to do it sort of on random yet. It's new, so I'm going to have to feel it out. Going to be playing a lot of Star Citizen 2.2a, and obviously be getting all the patches up as they come out and playing those. We'll be doing 2.2a right after this, so if you have it and you would like to play with me, just let me know in chat. I'll put a queue system up so we can get some people in all at the same time. And what else? I think that might be it for me. Still working with Doc Pacey and Clifford on our other tech podcast, getting that ball rolling, and that is latency issues. So, yeah, other than that, and that'll be on Sundays. But I think that's going to be it for us, guys. We appreciate you guys coming by. We stick around, though. We do still have 2 interviews with David Peng and with Disco Lando, and I'm going to switch to that right now. So thank you. And we will see you guys next week.
See you in the verse, guys. Woo!